with, my good friends, James
Hey,
and Christian. Howdy, hi, howdy, hey.
Hey, everybody.
it's
It's you. One of
Subjective
the
weird.
cats, one of the cats has busted in through the window because I've got it open at the moment. So
Not
don't
really
mind that. Hi, Sue.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And just to do a little resituating to make sure that everybody knows what all is going on. Yeah, hush. I've got my hand down. I'll give you the pets. In the first of the two episodes, the two of you found yourselves stuck in a situation where you would be dealing with a little battle royale style, for lack of a better, more technologically appropriate term, televised game.
Yes, from the
Where
game show.
the two of you, as well as 19 other groups of two, would be stuck in a sort of situation where you would all be stuck in a certain area and have to push your way forwards. Damned be the morality, the mortality, and the consequences to get yourselves out for a big money 3,000 platinum cash prize, as
That's a
well as
lot
your
of
freedom.
that's a lot of dough.
That is
It's a lot.
3,000 platinum cash prize.
It is. So you found yourselves, after going through a bit of sprucing up by the people who worked with this agency, who were sort of sticking you into this situation. Going forward, you found yourselves at a small farmhouse, dealt with the other two players, as it were.
Picked up some discarded weapons and armor and made our way.
Absolutely, made your way. Moved on forward, trying to do a bit of a hunt so that you get some proper rations and some proper food. Moving forward, because everything that you were able to find was thoroughly rotten through, full of maggots, and not particularly suitable for humanoid eating. After going on the hunt and taking down a deer, a pack of canines, led by a werewolf, said, "Hey, no, what the fuck," as it were, in their native tongue.
Right.
And hunted you down. You dealt with the werewolf in relatively short order with a quadruple damage critical spell from James's character.
Yes.
Exploding werewolf.
The exploding werewolf by the hands of Brother Anahe. And moved on forward. Met with a local survivor of everything that had gone on in the last handful of years, Brenda Hash Browns. Stayed for the night. Lended yourselves to a proper breakfast of, you would be able to guess it, probably hash browns that were exceptionally good. And pushed on forward. Dealing with, in exchange for a secret side entrance to the city proper, you dealt with a giant who had kidnapped and taken one of the cows in her care. She was extremely thankful after you dealt with the giant without killing it, and led to a more diplomatic solution after beating it around the brush and saying, "Hey, no, hold on, maybe you can make this work."
We just almost killed it.
Yes. Making onward into the city.
It made it think better of its robbing ways.
Yes, absolutely.
At least temporarily.
For the moment.
Hours of masterful diplomacy.
Yes. A bit of barbarian diplomacy, as it were. Beat it down till it's willing to listen. You moved on into the city, which was absolutely sodden with the stench and the presence of the undead. Moving forward, dodging various things after getting through the gatehouse, you found yourselves met with a local necromancer who seemed to, in theory, be in control of the local undead population in the city, but it needed a little bit of help. They were previously the apprentice of somebody who was much more of a master than they were, who left a puzzle box with a artifact that would let them control the vast quantities of the dead within the city. You tracked down the other two players who were currently in possession of the puzzle box, killed them in their sleep.
Yes.
and brought the puzzle box back, which seemed to be locked by a riddle, to the necromancer, who was willingly and openly aware of the fact that they are absolutely terrible at riddles. Opened it with just a little bit of thought and moved on your way, in theory. However, currently you have stayed in a long night's rest, moving forward in the large house of this person.
So he's going to give us some undead support, and that's
absolutely
that could be useful for this final run, if for nothing else, keeping the riffraff out of our way.
Absolutely. And after having, made a bit of a deal, and with your experience and your ability to change based on the things that have given you trouble, you have leveled up to the 6th level,
yes,
character-wise, both of you. And in the morning, will be granted a group of undead to see you escorted to the grounds of the castle proper.
Ah, yes. Escorted. I love it.
So, just for fun.
Yeah.
And this little thing, the new map that I am showing you, is not necessarily indicative of anything that is going to happen, but it is much more appropriate. And I think that's good enough.
That's
based on what you are currently seeing. You both wake up in the manse, the large living quarters of this necromancer. So, which of you do you think wakes up first?
Probably me.
Probably you. I'm more than willing to take that. So
Kind of
you
a
wake
habit.
up in this large guest room, single bed, lots of various furnishings and such. A pitcher of water and a glass left on the table in the center of the room, and there doesn't seem to be anyone else in there.
That's all right.
What would you like to do?
Have a glass of water, and then I'm going to wait for my traveling companion, Barclay, to wake up so that we can work out with this necromancer these alleged 20 guardsmen he's going to send with us.
Indeed.
I don't take my time getting up. I'm a pretty early riser anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. You wake up in a similar situation in, of course, a different room in relatively short order. And after, you put your clothes back on, possibly get a glass of water, whatever you would think is appropriate, you move out into the hall and see Brother Onahay standing there.
Let's meet up with this necromancer and get the show on the road.
Yes.
I can smell the 3,000 platinum pieces.
Right. Are you feeling well enough equipped to go forward?
I think so.
All right. Well,
As good as I can be under the circumstances.
yeah, I certainly wouldn't mind some better armor, but, I'll take what I can get.
Right. And as you move on downward into the main entrance hall, where you presume and are correct that the necromancer would be staying.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Welcome. Good morning.
We're ready
Yes.
to go.
It's that time.
Beautiful. I will, if you'll take just a moment to eat some sort of breakfast, and out of character, I apologize. One of the other people that I am in this house with is currently in the shower, and it seems like, not now, but was just for a moment singing very loudly. And there's not much I can do about that, and you're just gonna all have to deal with it. So, please, sit down. Breakfast. And I will step outside and see whomst I can rally while not dealing with the sort of, the other adventurers traveling through the town and keeping them occupied.
Yes.
Of course.
Just slow them down a little.
Well, we eat our leisurely breakfast.
They're not going to turn a meal down. I mean, despite being undead, the chef is pretty fantastic here.
Yeah. You look back and you see the undead that is carrying out the food, which seems to be relatively simple. Eggs, some sort of meat, definitely not human, definitely livestock, as well as some other various...
I like that that's the first thing we notice about the meat. It's not human.
It's not human. It gets set down in front of you, and you are confident that it is not people meat.
I can't believe it's not human.
You notice that the either the chef proper or just whomstever is serving it is definitely undead, but absolutely stripped of any meat. A proper skeleton, well scrubbed, absolutely polished to a sheer white.
Exactly as the necromancer promised, that our food would be prepared by an undead that had nothing to flake off of it, and that's really all that matters.
That's important.
I once heard that you could catch that.
I'm not entirely sure,
yes.
but it's possible.
The necromancer looks back from the door that they are starting to head out of. Oh, yes, absolutely. I have made sure that my waitstaff are completely clean of any meat bits that may fall off, because you can, yes, absolutely catch the
You
undead situation.
could catch the undead situation.
Even after the
A very, very
breaking into the house. Yeah, even after the breaking into the house and holding me at knife point, I don't believe that there is any necessary shenanigans. I think that we have lended ourselves into a mutually beneficial situation.
Honestly, I think we're past all of that unpleasantness we had before.
Yes.
I mean, we basically work for the same people.
Yes, I don't work for anybody, but it would be, how do I put this, in my best interests if I made sure the game went on.
Yep, that makes sense.
And as far as I can tell, getting you into the castle, while not letting anybody else get into the castle, would probably also benefit that.
Hey, and if it all works out, you're going to be provided with a bunch more corpses to animate from the dead other competitors.
That is the dream, and preferably skilled corpses.
Yes, see? Skilled corpses.
That's the way to do it.
Really, you're all right.
I'm not going to
working for you again.
My belly. Let's go kill some things.
Yes,
Indeed.
I do my best. Please enjoy yourselves with the breakfast. I will be back in a moment with my troops.
Excellent.
You know, Brother Anahe, I was thinking,
Yes.
we did so much yesterday. I woke up feeling better than I have ever felt.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, just, more hearty and hale. Like that last night's sleep really, really raised my constitution by one.
And I have managed to get a little quicker myself.
And my force of personality is going to help me deal a lot more sword damage this time.
I buy it. Yeah, that works.
Listen, I run a nice, clean, sometimes bullshit 5th edition game, and following the rules includes following some of the bullshit, especially when it's magically inclined.
Man, no. I love in-character explanations for leveling up, and I wanted to give it a try.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
It honestly makes more sense than many other previous editions. There was always the loveliness of 1st and 2nd edition where you would just spontaneously know an entirely new set of skills.
Or actually have to go through the gaming process of training those skills, which was the worst.
I've got a whole new game that I'm joining that I'll talk to the two of you about later, but that is not relevant to right now. So after this conversation and finishing your breakfast, you see the necromancer comes right on back in.
Excellent.
I have prepared your troops, and they will bring you up and into the castle, but they are probably not willing to follow you any further.
That's fine. We weren't expecting any company or help at all, so this is just a blessing.
And I am much more concerned with them waiting outside of the castle and not letting any competitors in than I am about them helping us with what's in the castle.
Absolutely. The entire city is at your disposal, and do be careful. My old master never told me much about the local shenanigans going on, but from what little I was able to gain, the winds, the baleful winds that you were able to catch coming out from the old keep means that the old King's Guard has probably been awakened.
They're also undead?
No, nothing to do with us, nothing to do with me, nothing to do with my old master. It's something that was here long before I ever showed up, and my master was loath to tell me about it.
So not
all I
undead.
know is that I was...
This was something that your necromancer master, pardon me for saying so, probably a more powerful necromancer than you?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And
Who
he
dealt in the magic of death, was loath to talk about the guards that are inside the castle.
He told me enough.
And or fear, am I catching that right?
Yes, he told me enough to know that I should not enter the castle grounds, but it seems like that is where your destination lies.
Next one.
Well,
so be careful.
That's perfectly safe. Let's go.
I mean, honestly, the extra help would just get in the way once we get there, as I'm sure Barclay, much like myself, would prefer to slip into the castle undetected and slip right out of the portal back to the main realm without having to kill anything at all. I mean, especially if it's something terrifying.
Yeah, I'd prefer not terrifying. If they gave us just a big cuddly, like, dire bear cub with some corks on its claws.
That would be the dream, but my understanding of the game that the two of you are playing is it's very lethal and meant to be dramatically interesting.
Well then, let's go give them a show.
Indeed.
So you step outside the main doors to this large sort of in-city estate. And you see, just as promised, 20, as far as you can tell, hale and hearty, undead ex-guardsmen.
Hale and hearty. What are they wearing? Armor.
They are wearing what looks to be a mixture of a certain amount of chain, a certain amount of mail, over a large padded gambeson textile armor beneath, which goes down through the limbs, as well as large gauntlets, large steel boots, and
nothing
large...
I can do. I mean, I guess I'm proficient in heavy armor, but...
it would function as chainmail if you would get any extra armor class out of that.
What do I have now?
Studded leather, unless you upgraded.
Yes, you have studded leather, so it depends on your dexterity modifier.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Chainmail will lock your armor class at 16.
Okay.
So you're free to swap out if you would like.
I only have those two choices. Right now it's going to be, what, 12?
Possibly. You know.
Yeah, it'd be 12 with studded leather plus your dex mod.
Okay, so it's 13. But 16 is better than 13, so I'm going to take it.
All right.
Yeah. You're going to be a little less stealthy.
Disadvantage on stealth.
Trade me. Right? Let's do this. I'm right now. I'm a pincushion.
The undead, the zombie, as it were, who is currently wearing the armor, takes off what you can now see is a large surcoat sitting over the armor as you get closer. They take it off, give you the armor, and put it back on, and it says "Sir Expendable" as they put your armor on and then put the surcoat back over.
Adorable. Thank you. I hand him my gambus and you put that on. Yeah, I'll just fit that over your arm, bone.
I think that's backwards. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like I don't really care. I was being nice. I do that from time to time. Why I'm wasting my courtesy on the dead is beyond me.
You hear just a bit of a holler coming from inside the house. I appreciate it.
It's really no problem at all. Your hospitality was top notch.
I do my best. I might control the dead, but that doesn't mean I have to treat my guests like them.
You know, if the undead didn't freak me out so much, I would probably get a few of those in a few years, just to tend the house or whatever. I mean, they'd never complain.
The entire 20 guard corps just nods very sagely.
Say,
you guys are all right. Well, forward.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It does not take you very long to get to the outer gates of the castle. Obviously, this is not the building of the castle of the keep proper, but the first step is, of course, get to the outer gates. And you can see, almost like you're in a desert, and you can see heat shimmering and rising off the horizon, what looks to be this sort of largely invisible field coming off of the front open gate.
I don't like the look of that.
Yeah. And you do also hear, I should mention, almost deafening howling coming outward.
Really?
Mm-hmm. For reference, as long as you are within the ability to hear it, any hearing-based perception checks will be at disadvantage. Because it is loud.
Yeah. After you? No?
And the zombies march on forward. And as they get closer and closer and approach the open gate, both of you make me, at disadvantage, perception checks. Crazy, it's almost like I set this up literally 15 seconds before I made you roll it.
I don't know how you did that, but it was amazing.
Thanks. I do my best.
Sorry, 25 and then 7. I get to keep this 7.
You keep the 7. You don't hear shit. Roll a second time and take the worst one if you like, James. Actually, not if you like. Just do it.
Just take the worst one anyway.
Looks like 13 is going to be the worst one.
13, however, even over the screeching and the howling of the baleful winds coming from the castle, you hear what you would recognize as the skittering of small rodentia. Rats.
Well,
coming out from the various buildings and houses and shops nearby as you get closer and closer and approach the gates. A very, very large amount, almost inconceivable amount of rats pour out and start to congeal nearby.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, Mac, I don't understand why it is that I'm traveling with 20 zombie retinue and a bunch of little rats is still grossing me out to no end.
Well,
I'm with you. I'm finding the swarm of rats slightly more disconcerting than the undead soldiers.
It is looking less and less natural, I'll say that.
It is. And you would be very, very aware of how unnatural it is getting as it grows further and further into a almost a 15 diameter writhing sphere of rats. This is an unnatural amount of rats, and they are all piling on top of one another. And as you go forward and continue to look on and possibly prepare yourselves for combat or, running forward, whatever you think is appropriate.
This is precisely what sending these zombies forward is for.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You see
I don't want
the face, much like a Voltron made up of many smaller pieces. The head of this giant rat stick out from the swarm,
For
obviously
the
made up of
Terminator.
smaller and smaller rats. All of the undead that you have traveled with previously draw their arms, their swords, their pole arms, their bows.
Their actual arms.
Sometimes their actual arms if one of them is disconnected, and that is possibly the best bludgeoning implement at hand, and they point you toward the gate.
Oh boy.
And they
All right.
advance forward.
Let's make a break for it, my man.
Yeah, let's let them deal with the rat and make a break for it and skip over the crazy rat monstrosity. I'm just really grossed out by it.
Of course.
I am 100% with you. Look at us, the big bad death brigade. We are just not having rats.
Listen, you come from a fantasy Renaissance Dungeons and Dragons world. You know that rats carry disease and carry fleas that carry disease and all that good business.
No.
So even if there weren't a bajillion of them, it would be a problem.
We are human and short-lived.
Indeed.
Part of the reason that we are followers of death is because we fear our own mortality.
Yeah. You have to respect it because otherwise you would fear it, and that does nobody any good.
Mm-hmm.
So you push on forward and you find yourselves at this large open gate. Doesn't seem like there's any sort of bars in the way. It looks totally open other than the blasting wind currently
Why don't
keeping you
I
outward.
take a surreptitious peek inside these gates and see if I can do so without being noticed by anyone?
Absolutely.
Just
You
in
take a
case.
peek inside the gates. Are you trying to push inward?
I think we have to. So, yeah, that's going to have
Great.
to happen.
You push a little bit forward, looking into the gates, and you are immediately blown back. But you are able to, from your position, pretty easily see what looks to be a relatively standard castle grounds. There is a stable. There is what looks to be most likely a guardhouse and a blacksmith, and a few other smaller buildings that would be within the outer walls of the castle without being the castle proper.
Interesting.
However, you are absolutely blown backwards completely on your ass. I'm going to turn the lights proper on in my room, so decide a plan of attack for this. Because as you go forward, you can see that the zombies are laying in. A handful of them have been absolutely devoured by the swarm of rats. But they are pushing it further and further away as the in-game 6-second turns go by. So yes, I'm going to turn the light on so that I can get some better illumination, because I'm very dark, which is good for the mood, but bad for the stream. So consider your options. I'll be right back.
What do you think? I'm wondering if the wind is just specifically on the gateway into the castle, and if going over the wall would avoid the wind.
It might.
It
It also might, end up disastrous. So
Definitely worth a try, though.
For reference, because I think, were you talking about trying to scale the wall?
yeah,
It is made out of large stone bricks, not unscalable, but difficult because it is about 50 feet high.
Oh.
yeah, that's an
So you can certainly attempt, especially if you come across some sort of a creative solution. Wink, wink. That's not horny. That's literally me telling you.
There might be a creative solution. I got you.
Yeah. Fuck around. Find out if you can come up with something that works.
Well,
The
if
wall-
zombies weren't being used to kill the rat swarm, I would just suggest a zombie pyramid.
A
Like
zombie-
undead cheerleaders.
Yes.
They're all fit. You can tell that obviously based on what they are all wearing, they are all ex-guardsmen.
I mean, it would just be entertaining, if nothing else, to see the pyramid of zombies.
Well, let's see how many are left at the end of the rat fight.
All right, other than all that goes on, maybe we should scout the perimeter of this thing and see if there's an alternative entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Many castles have alternative entrances. Usually a sally port is kept concealed somewhere so that they can send troops out to assault those that are trying to get their way into the gate. But it's almost always a concealed entrance. So
that doesn't mean we can't find it.
Doesn't mean we can't find it. I think that's what we should look for. Is I have never known a castle to not have a sally port. I mean, it is a mandatory form of defense.
Absolutely. I have a question, which I am going to ask beforehand because I think it makes sense. How much time are you willing to spend poking around the walls of this castle?
Well, I don't think we can get in through the main gate, judging by the wind, so we're going to have to find an alternative entrance. It is not a matter of how much time, but how long it's going to take us to find another way in. So, judging by the wind, we can't go in the front. So that leaves attempting to climb a 50-foot wall, which probably way outside the question.
Would likely go poorly. It is very knobbly and theoretically climbable, but definitely not easy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, tell you what. You search the perimeter. I will watch the gate.
All right.
If anybody comes this way, we know that our time is up.
All right, give me a holler if that happens.
Absolutely. James, can I get an investigation check from you? And can
Absolutely.
I get a perception check from Christian, since he is watching for other people to approach the gate? Going to be a 25 from Christian.
I have a 20 on investigation.
Absolutely. 20 is going to be pretty good. You don't find a sally port in the traditional sense. However, going forward, you do find what looks to be not terribly far. This would be, with some, solid investigating, probably about 20 minutes in, what looks to be stone in the wall with what looks to be light or possibly false mortaring.
Interesting.
Do the shaving a haircut, knock.
I'm going to take a closer look at this here wall.
Absolutely. Looking into it, poking around, possibly
my
doing
hands around it. Yeah.
Doing a light pull at the mortaring.
Yeah.
You can tell that these stones are fitted in by friction, but that seems to be it. They could be pulled with a little bit of work and a little bit of time.
All right.
Or with a proper device, which you are quite aware as somebody who has probably infiltrated your fair share of castles.
This is a fact. And I got a nifty dagger that has great devices built into it.
Damn right. Yeah. I gave you that magical lockpick dagger, so I might as well see you use it. Would you like to make me a Thieves' Tools proficiency with the +1 based on the fact that you have the magical dagger and that gives you that bonus?
Absolutely, I would. Here we are. Let's see what happens.
See what happens.
Oh,
26.
That's pretty sweet.
That's a nice roll there.
Between the various tools that pop out of the dagger at almost a fan-like variety of angles with various little semi-articulated arms that you can push forward, you are, between that and your, relatively reasonable human level of strength, able to move and pull and get just enough leverage that you make yourself a medium-sized hole in the wall. Enough to get probably one person through.
Perfect. I'm going to go and collect Barclay at this point.
Absolutely. Barclay,
Yeah.
with your really damn good roll of a 25, I'm going to tell you that your eyes are keen and you do not see anybody else approaching. You do see a handful, I would say 2 other either groups or singular adventurer types like yourself pushing this way, but they get routed and pushed off by the various well-trained undead within the city. It's almost like you made a friend, and if I don't honor that, that would make me a bad dungeon master.
Well, I would never call you that on stream.
Well, thank you. If you call me that off stream, then I'll take it into heart.
I wouldn't call you that off stream either. You run my games for free, Ethan.
I run your games because we're friends. It's different. It's for free. But, you know.
All right, you've established that you're not sending me an invoice, so...
Christian, you're fired. I'm sorry. Quint will be taking the sole role of ass beater in the Sunday campaign.
Damn it. Okay, the guy was really busy.
Yeah, the guy had to go fucking immediately beeline to the first non-confrontational situation to get them out of the campaign.
Numbers-wise, he was never going to keep up with Quint anyway.
Right. That's barbarians, you know? They're very tough. They do good damage, but they're impossible to kill.
Yeah.
Unless I try very hard.
Whereas monks are mostly impossible to keep alive.
Mm-hmm. That's
They
true
make a
in
great
like a
combo.
monk.
They make a great combo.
So, moving on forward. You have been gathered by Brother Anahe and brought back to what seems to be this sort of secret entrance that has been pried open.
Found it then?
Yes, I did, and opened it.
Good, let's get in. Nobody's on the way. Everybody that even comes close to here is getting pushed off into another block.
Well, that's both good and bad. It means that we'll be the first people to take on whatever's the challenge inside of this keep.
The best thing to happen to us in this whole game is that we made friends with a necromancer. All right.
Something to keep in mind for the future.
Absolutely.
Oh, believe me, I will. I never forget a favor owed or given.
I have a higher opinion of necromancers because of this one than I did before this all started.
You know, so do I. But only just.
Only just.
All right, let's get you through, and then I'll pop in right behind you.
Beautiful. You pop in, and you both pop in short order, to this large open within these very, very tall, very thick walls. It's approximately about 10 feet of stone that you are currently pushing through. That's part of the reason it took Brother Anahe to move multiple smaller stones to get out of the way. This is a well-defended castle, and you can tell that if you were a large group of people with an army at your back, it would be a real rat bastard to get into. But as just the two of you, with everyone inside presumably dead, you can find the secret entrance. You can bust your way in with a little bit of work and a little bit of jimmying. And
I'm always down for jimmying. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, absolutely. You find yourselves in this large, open courtyard. There seems to be the large, the castle proper, the actual, pop culture sort of large stone building with palisades and meticulations and various towers for archers along the sides, sitting at the back in the center.
The keep.
The keep, indeed. You see the keep sitting at the back center, but you see a handful of buildings on the sides. You see a blacksmith, a guard's house, a stables, and a parish or a holy house of some kind. All of them also made out of the same stone, but the guard's house and the parish do not have the same stone tops that the other two do.
The guardhouse might be looking into if we want to improve your armor situation, unless you're comfortable with that.
I'll live, or I won't, depending on my armor situation. Yeah, let's check that out.
All right. Anything on the grounds that we can see moving?
Funnily enough, with a bit of a moment, you see what seems to be a single skeletal figure, and completely literally skeletal. No meat, not just like quote-unquote skin down to the bones.
Like the cooks.
Like the cooks. Sitting in front of what seems to be an actively burning fire in the blacksmith's forge, with their feet kicked up on the anvil, with a small chair, obviously craft built, put together very simply, reading a book.
We should stay very far from that one. That one worries me.
Beautiful. Would you like to sneak around?
Yeah. Do you want to sneak to the guardhouse then and take a look, or do you just want to go straight to the keep?
I'm fine with going to the keep.
Okay. We're going to see if we can slip past this guy and try and find our way into the keep.
Beautiful. Allow me, before I do this, to draw a thing for you. This square that I'm making is the keep.
Okay.
This is the blacksmith. This is the guard's house. This is the parish. And this is the other thing that I mentioned. Which I can... The stables. That's the one.
So if we go around the left side of that, we can get to the keep section while avoiding the blacksmith as much as possible.
Absolutely. Would the both of you be so kind as to make me stealth checks?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you got disadvantage with the chainmail, unfortunately.
You do have disadvantage, so that will be
Then
a
I
5
did
at a
not
natural 1.
That's too bad.
So, Brother Anahe, completely unnoticed.
That's a 27 on my end.
Barclay, this is something that you personally have noticed many times before. Brother Anahe seems to almost melt into the shadows.
I know, and I keep trying to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
It just never works out in my favor.
And you have a history and a personal connection with being relatively good at somebody who is avoiding attention. But when it comes to Barclay, and especially the supernatural beings that you have currently been dealing with, it's a little bit hard to keep up.
Yeah.
So, you see the Bone Man raise up a hand to you specifically, and take their index finger and do a little towards me motion.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I get up from my crouched position.
Oh, jeez.
And, jaunt over to it.
I'm going to stick to the buildings, but go as far as that closest building, leaving that gap across the middle.
Absolutely.
Keeping hidden, ready to back him up if things get not good.
Absolutely. I mean, that 27 is so good. I'm not making you re-roll in any capacity right now.
No.
It does help when you have expertise and a 20 deck score, and stealth is pretty good.
Oh yeah, I played a rogue before. I know how it goes.
Hail!
As you approach and say hail to this skeletal person who is reading this book, they hold up their index finger in a... Give me a second.
I'll wait.
And as they do that, you can see very clearly that they are not kitted in the same way that the other undead that you have seen before, where it is sort of this ill-fitting, it made sense when they were alive, clothing or armor. Along their forearms and their biceps, or what would have been their biceps, and the both parts of their legs, they have what is obviously, very clearly, what seems to be some sort of padded leather with steel strips thereupon. So they are wearing well-fitted armor that is built for their lack of physiology.
Okay.
This one got fitted for this armor after all of his skin and bones. All of his,
I'm even more unnerved than I was before.
After a solid, say, 90-ish seconds of waiting, they close their book, put their legs down, and stand up.
He makes me wait for a minute and a half.
He does. But you can see looking over the shoulder that the chapter is very close to be done. And it seems like whoever you are watching is a very slow reader. Because you can see the end of the chapter on the right-hand page of the two.
Well, I mean, I have to... He doesn't exactly have eyes.
Doesn't have eyes. Doesn't have a tongue either, yet he talks.
That he's not a slow reader. He's just absorbing the material.
As you are waiting, after approximately 10 seconds, I apologize. I am quite engrossed at the moment, and I would like to finish the chapter.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Nothing but time. Good book, though?
Quite good.
You can...
So, after the resuming 80 seconds, they stand up, close the book, look directly at you with their completely empty eye sockets. And they seem to be wearing what you would describe as medium armor. Obviously the same padded material that you are wearing, but there are various, especially on the limbs, various steel plates and strips and various rivets.
Let him notice me sizing him up.
If you don't mind, I would like to say that they do notice, but are not in any way worried about it.
His expression does not change. What would you...
Strangely enough, no meat shifts on their face. So this person looks back towards you and stands up and says, I apologize. I have no erotic drive in my state. However, I find it very interesting to study the meat humanoid smut as an intellectual practice.
That, absolutely.
And they turn it back towards you, and it is obviously what you would all recognize as a extremely lowbrow, cheaply produced romance novel.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, don't feel guilty about it. Once I give up this adventuring thing, I was thinking about writing erotic fiction.
If you do find a way to contact me.
Oh, yes, of course.
I have not seen you around the town before.
Brand new. Part of the game.
Right. So you will be heading to the throne room then?
As directly as I can, yes.
I should warn you to be careful. I was created by an old necromancer who has long since died, and it is funny how such things work. Without the proper outside help, someone who studies the magic of death and life died by natural causes, without any way of resurrecting themselves.
Well, that's probably for the best. When they do, it usually ends up badly.
I cannot speak to it. I have only met that necromancer and the one that I have left.
The one that you have left? Is that the... What's his name? Ethan, what is that guy's name?
Oh, the one in the town with the ears.
Yes!
The elf.
Yes!
I did not personally consider him worthy of my services. I was created as a butler and an enforcer. And I do apologize if my voice is a little too dramatic. However, when you have no meat to your bones, there is a very specific timber that you must maintain. And my creator decided that I should be exceedingly dramatic as an undead wielder of blades
Oh,
and of
yeah.
comfort.
Wait, what?
I am a butler.
Wielder of comfort. Okay. We were thinking
Indeed.
different jobs. So, no, the kid in town is actually, I mean, he's not very experienced, but he gets a thumbs up from me. I'm sorry.
This is good. I will reconsider.
At worst, he is very clever. And
At
he could
worst-
do with some better help. And some company.
Company is good. I have been alone in this castle for a very long time, especially after the rats left.
I can tell you with all honesty, I have not enjoyed talking to a necromancer or an elf more than that one.
As a living person who I have been, for lack of a better term, programmed to be personable with, I do very much appreciate your input.
Oh. No, thank you. Anyway, are you here just for the warning, or...
No.
You...
I live here outside of the Game Masters. I was able to slip out of their eyes. It is very simple when you have padded joints, and as they go up and move their limbs, their forelimbs, their arms, you can see that there is what seems to be almost coated cotton between the bones to represent and serve the same purpose that cartilage might.
Well, that's actually incredibly clever.
Thank you. It is very good to not have undead
Did you come up with this, or your master?
arthritis. I did not come up with this one. I was a fully realized creation at birth, and then my master died, and then I left.
Well, the elf in town, you should show this to him.
It might be well.
I
I
mean,
noticed
it's nothing
the,
Just show him the joints. I mean, that would probably change his whole... Yeah.
I noticed the meat dead that you traveled with before. They are putting up a good fight, but there is only so much fight that a non-sapient corpse can put up.
Yes, I really should get this going.
Oh, of course. I apologize. You are not only sapient, but not even a corpse. You will be moving forward to the throne room, yes?
Yes.
I should let you know.
Oh.
The wizards that they put forward have rearranged the castle.
What does that mean? That I won't be familiar with the layout because I have never been here before.
I would assume that someone in your stature, to have gotten this far, further than anyone else that I have noticed, are not only familiar with how buildings work, but with how defense works, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I see the way that you carry that sword on your hip. A normal castle might have the throne room as the entrance directly through the Great Hall, but this one does not. As the many great wizards of the game came to inspect and reorient and resurrect the King's Guard, I figured out that after poking through the castle for a bit, as these are my stomping grounds, they have reoriented the internals of the castle a bit. They figured that it would not be as dramatic or as interesting to watch on their weird divination mirrors if you just walked in the doors and busted into the throne room, because they figured out as they were, from what I was able to overhear, they figured out that the King's Guard was locked to the throne room in the King, and since the King has been long dead or missing, but probably dead.
We're going to say dead.
We're gonna say dead. It's been 50 years and change as far as my internal math counts.
Was he human?
Yes.
Dead.
As far as I heard from my old master, I was created after the cataclysm that left this whole city undone.
I know I mentioned I was in a bit of a hurry.
Of course. The castle will be uneasy to travel through. And
Traps?
you have shown me more respect than the 2 or 3 other adventurers who have entered the castle, who I was,
Wait, they've already gone in?
I should clarify, 2 or 3 other adventurers have entered the castle, and I was forced to cut them down.
Oh. Well, I hope you don't feel that need with me.
No, you have shown me an absolutely unprecedented amount of respect for a non-necromancing living creature.
Well, you have the necromancer in town to thank for that. If this had been yesterday, we probably just would have fought.
I apologize. I should introduce myself. I was given the name Bonesworth.
That is really on the nose.
It is, but naming creativity from someone who creates beasts and undead creations, and
I think people should be named, a little bit like what they do. So humans have a long tradition of it. Ask anyone named Smith or Miller.
Absolutely. What is your last name? What does that last name mean?
Knox. It has something to do with the postman, I think, who allegedly is my father, but we'll see. When I find that son of a bitch, rain nor sleet nor... You know what? It doesn't matter. That's a different story.
Right. My understanding from what information I was gained from my master is that Nox means night. And for someone that is so kind to the dead like myself, perhaps you are fitting of that name. Again, I would like to apologize for my overly dramatic way of speaking. I literally cannot stop. It is built into the magic weaved in my bones.
Yeah, I know. We talked about this, right?
Right, of course. I felt the need to reiterate that. Just on like a politeness angle. Allow me to explain what is going on.
Thank you. That's
within the castle. I was created after the King's Guard fell, after the last king fell. But my understanding is I found an old ornate, and if I may be so bold, frankly, impractical suit of a solid plate chest and a solid helmet. They were carved with various intricate runes of magic I was incapable of understanding. But this is my understanding of the King's Guard. I have entered a few times since they were resurrected in the last week. But I know at least when they were inactive, they were bound to a chest piece and a helm.
So, are they all bound to the same chest piece and helm, or is it individual on the night?
All I could find, based upon the tapestries that I was able to uncover, and the armor that I was able to find, and various other poking around things. There is one King's Guard, based on the tapestries, and it is not dead. It has no corporeal... At the very least, it is not dead in the same way that I am. It has no corporeal body to be bound to that armor.
But the armor is still quite intact and capable of... Well, that's awful.
Yes.
I will consider myself warned. Is there any other information you wish to impart to me, Bones?
Yes. Again, they have reorganized the castle, and I am no longer familiar with the layout, but I assume, based on the fact that you are not only built for entertainment of the people playing the game, but built based upon entertainment for the people who have to watch it.
Right, they'll put it not near the top or near the bottom.
Absolutely. It will take a while for you to find your way to the throne room, but after a bit of searching, while the King's Guard was out patrolling the field, it seems there is a large chevroned, upside-down, U-shaped portal in the throne room, and I assume that is your destination, since it was previously not available in that situation.
I can almost guarantee that is our destination.
Absolutely. I should also say there are a handful of pieces of kit that might be welcome to you, and I'm sorry, I've noticed you are alone. Is your partner dead?
Oh no, he is just very sneaky.
That's impressive. I found another sneaky adventurer with no partner. I laid my eyes on them and peeked around. I believe they are currently hiding in the guard's house. However, if you are looking for equipment, there should be things in the guard's house, because I do not recommend you face the King's Guard without any beefing. That sword looks mystical, and
Oh, you mean hotcakes?
I have seen the sword before in my master's
Okay.
collection, but
Nice.
I have not seen it on anyone's shoulder or back in a long, long time. It is good to see it being used. Much like myself, anything that is created is designed for a use, and I am glad to see that it is.
This is seriously the best sword I have ever seen in my life. So I think that's why I'm in such a good mood today. Which is weird, because the good mood makes me kill things way less. But all I want to do is use the sword. It's
But is that? I must ask: is the good mood that leads you to killing things less? Does it also lead you to have a better time and more efficient, combative nature when you are killing things?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I should introduce myself to your partner. You said they are sneaking, but around.
Oh yeah. I don't expect him to actually respond. Mac, this is Bonesworth. He's a butler, and also kind of a warning system. I learned a lot about this Kingsguard thing. I think I know where we're going. We've got some good intel, bro.
Sounds good.
Oh, and there might be a guy in the guardhouse.
Your name is Mac. Greetings, my name is Bonesworth, and I am the butler of the late great necromancer of this city.
Mac, on ahead.
A pleasure. There is not much to find in the stables. There is not much to find here in the blacksmith unless you are looking for mundane metalworking items. And there is not much to be found.
I did kill a man with an iron ingot once, but not my preferred method.
I would assume that you would prefer to kill someone with the big fuck-off sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's really more my speed.
It is good. Again, there is, I believe, the single member of a duo hiding in the guard's house, but that is where you will find the only non-mundane equipment you might be interested in.
All right, well,
Kill him.
yeah, I'm gonna go check out the guardhouse.
I believe I am not an expert on the
you start
meat
talking
people,
like this.
but may I speak? I believe it is her. It doesn't matter, but I think I heard.
Thing is,
Yes.
doesn't.
I cannot judge you. I have no sense of what sex my body was before I was bones. So there is literally no way in which I can judge you for not judging someone based on that. I have no idea.
I can tell based on your skeleton.
Absolutely. I'm just gonna give this to you. Roll a die 2 or flip a coin in the meat space and tell me.
Oh, you've caught me. I'm poor. All right. Let's see. There it is. I don't really give you a D2 option. How about a D4 and low is 1 and 2? And yeah, you know what's up.
Absolutely. That's low. You can tell, based on Boneworth's skeleton, based on, various things like the way the hips are built and other things such as that, very minor changes. Bonesworth was not only a human skeleton, but Bonesworth used to be a human woman before they died.
Oh. So do you want to know?
Information gathering is a part of my job as a butler slash
human woman.
Interesting. I do not know how this will affect my jobs in the future.
It shouldn't. It makes very little difference.
But if it does, I thank you. Maybe I will pretend to be a corpse in a dungeon. And then I will be able to confirm if the jailer thinks that I am a human woman.
Well, your bones cut a very fine figure, so I mean it should.
Thank you.
Not a 50-50 shot. Okay, Mac, if you find them in there, I guess don't aim for the balls.
Well,
as far as I can tell, no testicles, based on the cut of the armor and the lack of a codpiece.
I don't know why they wouldn't wear one. It's a good.
It truly seems
right.
The
like,
bigger your codpiece, that's not only an exclamation of the more and as you walk away, they continue to talk about how they believe codpieces work in humanoid society.
And it's wrong, I'm sure. I make my way over to the guardhouse.
I've always preferred merkins to codpieces myself.
What is a merkin?
You know what? It's somebody who lives in Merca. Come on.
Okay.
I understand. So you go into the guardhouse, and you find it to be
guardhouse. Yeah,
absolutely.
Check out this doorway.
It is a two-story building, with the lower one seeming to be meeting, sort of an almost office space with various side offices available, and the upper one being a living space with an incredibly dense, almost ship-like density of bunks. All double stacked. How would you like to enter?
I'm going to enter through the front door. I assume that Mac is already inside.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and slip in.
I'm not doing stealth to go in.
Beautiful. Brother Anahays. Beautiful. Since our friend Barclay is making an entrance, but this is against a new character, make a stealth check at an advantage.
All right, here we go. We're either going to go with that low one or that insanely high one of 28. I'm going to take the 28.
Absolutely. I mean, I can roll. I'm gonna roll for it on principle, but I have a feeling based on how this is gonna go.
Wow, a natural 20 though.
A natural 20. You find yourself clambering on in relatively easily.
That's
completely.
The only way you could have met it. Jesus.
That is the only way.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I didn't roll at a disadvantage, and I You got the advantage. I didn't roll the disadvantage. That's right.
Yep.
So I rolled the right one. So you very carefully come up, very carefully lift the sort of lightly sliding but not self-controlling windows on the on the upper half. Slip in a stick of relatively reasonable size that you find within grabbing range of the window. Pop it open, climb on in, and then you instantly feel a very short steel point at your neck. I am sorry. However, this is where I am hiding, and I would very much prefer if you would leave, or possibly, since I assume are you? And this is with the steel point still digging into the left side of your neck. Are you willing to possibly make an alliance, at least a ceasefire?
And is he at the back and I'm at the front?
You are on the lower floor, and he is on the upper floor. So it will take you at least a turn, at least 2 turns worth of actions to get up.
I guess is the question.
What was that?
Do I hear
make a perception check, Christian, to see if you hear any of this.
Yeah.
22 is pretty fucking good. You hear the bit about either leaving or possibly making an alliance. And it seems to be from your notice, at least, biologically speaking, what you know about the various humanoids you've encountered, probably a feminine voice.
Ceasefire is possible.
I like
Are we
possible.
going to ceasefire?
At hearing that, the woman is going to take the
my
dagger, flip it around, and put it into a sheath. I am going to assume that you would be willing to make a conversation before you kill me, because between the two of you, with one already in the building, you seem to be a bit sneaky, but I assume that I would not make it very long if the two of you were after me. So, my name, I suppose I should give you, is Carissa. And you see a small, child-sized hand, based on your species, stick slightly forward into the 45 easily discernible portion of your vision. Peripheral vision section of your vision on the left-hand side.
Firm handshake.
You turn, presumably, at least your head, and see what looks to be a halfling woman, still wearing what looks to be underneath the basic sort of the tunic and the trousers and the boots that you were given. But on top of it, they have what looks to be an impeccably conditioned gambeson, textile armor, and a absolutely beautiful rapier at their left hip.
Lovely.
Is there any
I'm
armor in this place?
Come again, James?
Is there any armor in this place? I assume you've scouted it out.
I've taken a look, but before we move forward, I would like to ask permission to follow you through the portal.
As long as you're going afterwards, I have no problem with that.
Great.
We're not
Is this, are you lying or are you telling the truth?
I am 100% telling the truth in that as long as it's afterwards, I have no problem with that.
Beautiful. Roll a diplomacy check, which is based on charisma.
I would almost be better off lying because, well, I have deception, not diplomacy.
Yeah, that's actually the same thing I've got.
I'm a better liar than I am a truth teller.
Also, there is no diplomacy.
It's
Sorry, it's
persuasion.
it's
Persuasion.
persuasion. That's right. Sorry, I get a little in the 3 and 3.5 names.
Hey, man. I
do
wasn't trying to
call
you out.
deception.
I was just,
No, of course. I appreciate
She's
it.
not buying it.
allow me to try if that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And I'm also telling the truth. I'm just explaining to her that she doesn't get any of the money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to go on record, the higher this character rolls, since they are trying to tell if you are telling the truth, the better your chances are. So even though James rolled a 3 on their diplomacy, since you rolled a 14 and Carissa rolled a 16, they are going to stop for a moment, give you in Thieves' Cant a phrase which sounds like, well, I'll be going to the fishmonger's later, but be sure to make sure that I'm not there when you do. Make sure you have the good fish. In Thieves' Cant, James, that is a phrase which translates roughly to, I'm keeping my fucking eye on you. And she takes her short sword, and
we don't have to let you come with us.
Presumably at this point, given the amount of time expended, you come up the stairs. And you, James, know that at the very least she is wary of you, and you, Christian, know that as far as you can tell reasonably, and this might be a little metagamey, but who gives a shit? A good game requires at least a little metagaming.
Okay, I'll accept.
She seems to, at the very least, be giving you the time of day. She doesn't think you are lying to her outright.
Oh, I really am not going to give her any of the money.
Yeah, that's the score. Well, we don't care if you follow us, but the money is ours. That's why we're here.
Now, that may be fine. However, you're going to the castle to fight against the fucker who killed my partner.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Oh, no, I think the one that killed your partner, Bonesworth, downstairs. We're not... we're friends.
Oh, you mean the
butler.
skeleton boy killed... And he's your...
Yeah, he's actually nice. You just, you have to talk to him sometimes instead of attacking him.
I'm just going to talk through some stuff to be sure that I can internalize it properly. Gortak was a bit of a fucking bonehead, but I'm also very sorry to see that he's dead, because he was my best chance out of here with the prize money. However, you have stepped forward, and between...
Can we still win if there's 3 of us?
Well, it's teams of 2, so I don't think it works that way. It's,
Teams of 2, the first 2 people through the portal take the proper full prize. But anyone in 3rd or after place, to a certain degree, out to 6th place, takes a certain selection, a certain pension.
All right. Come along.
Did you not read the entire sort of like contract? And
We
you
didn't
both
read past
know...
first
I only
place.
read what happens if you win. Why would I look at any other part?
Yeah. You both know that you were, at probably to a certain degree, forced into this game.
Mm-hmm.
You were not voluntary participants. Whereas it seems like, at least to a certain degree, Carissa willingly entered this game.
Well,
If you're happy with 2nd place, we're happy with you taking 2nd place.
Absolutely. I'll take after the 2 of you, as long as all of us can deal with the problem and Get out of there.
I think our chances are better against the. What is he saying? Something about armor? What was that? Bonesworth was saying.
I'll give that information out just a little bit later.
All right.
Okay.
Stop.
But anything we want is going to be in the guardhouse. We don't need to worry about the blacksmith or the stables. So
Yeah, let's see if we can find you some better kit.
I have a. Okay, let me put this forward. I'm not much of a combatant, but I am a thief. So, for absolute honor-bound promise that you will let me come with you and jump in after you deal with the problem. After the two of you go in for first, I will give you the sword that I found.
You found a sword? Are you talking about the little one you got right there?
You can see what looks to be a extremely well crafted rapier at her left hip to be drawn with the right hand.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yes, I found this, but if you aren't willing to absolutely promise on your honor that I will be able to come in right after you, and you won't give me any trouble to give you a hand.
No, I don't see any reason not to. If you're happy with second place, we have no quarrel here.
Second place is the only way that I get any sort of prize at this point. My partner has died, and no one other than the two of you and the other two bastards who got fucking murdered by the Bone Boy outside have been at least willing to talk.
Yeah, and you ain't going to see anybody else.
Us at the beginning.
Yeah.
No one said we couldn't talk to anyone, and we've talked to almost everyone. Except for that werewolf.
Yeah, the werewolf we just exploded.
Do you mean with a werewolf?
Yeah, I made him explode.
Well, I think you asked him very nicely to explode, and he complied.
Yeah.
Okay, and she starts to go over and starts to unbuckle the sort of shoulder and normal belt area strap. And it's like, okay, so I know that you can deal with the problem. Do you absolutely promise with every fiber of your being that I will be unharmed and possibly able to help you as long as I swear to come into the portal after the two of you do?
I only see one slight flaw with that is I can't guarantee your safety from whatever's guarding the throne room and whatever's guarding the castle. But from us, I can absolutely make that promise.
The injury will not come from us intentionally.
Yep. Nothing from our end. But if something gets you in there, it gets you in there. I'm not going to leave you for it, and I'm not going to throw you to the wolves, but I can't spend my time watching out for you, and we got to make it through this thing. So you're going to need to at least look after yourself against the enemies.
You can trust him. He's a priest. And I'm a paladin, so we're very trustworthy.
Listen, I've already established the world this comes from. And the two of you have played in this world out of character, as other characters in the archipelago. So, those words don't necessarily mean anything in character. However, I know you're my best chance. So, if I lend you a hand in any troubles that you may come across, would you be so kind as to also protect me if something should come to that?
Yeah.
Fair. All right.
Helping.
If you're helping,
your way, we're helping you carry yours too.
Yeah.
We're not.
You're right.
We're just mercenaries.
Okay. Let me hold on.
We're going to win this, and numbers means that we're going to win this. And besides, no one else is getting in the castle. We've got an army of zombies preventing anyone from getting through town.
It won't be long. We should hurry.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me here. I have a strange pseudo out of character feeling, but I feel like it's mostly in character, that the magical rapier that I've been carrying will do the best for the one who climbed in the window. Is that correct?
That's about right. I'll take it.
Okay. So, James, whenever you have something ready to write on, let me know when you're ready. You have been handed what this person will describe as the steady hand. It functions as a +1 rapier. However, you will also get advantage on environmental-based saving throws. This is something that if we were doing a home game or something more varied, I would go into with a little more practicality. But I will tell you, or you will know if it is relevant as far as this stream is concerned.
All right.
You also, considering continuing to go forward, see a handful going through footlockers of rusted various metal armors, but you find a set of perfectly conditioned +1 half plate.
There you go.
Continuing to tear through various footlockers, you find what looks to be someone who was a little more inclined to the arcane nature of guards' work and combat. Not only a scroll of invisibility, but a +1 gambeson and jack chains. This will act as a +1 studded leather armor.
I will take it.
Yeah, however, just for reference, for anyone who is watching now or watching on the VOD, and maybe for you if you're not exceedingly familiar with historical arms and armor and whatever, gambeson is textile armor that usually covers, as long as it is full armor, the entire length of the arms and down to the knees, and it is a quilted
it's
armor.
A set of padding. It's padding underneath regular armor.
Jack chains are various metal plates and strips and other things that will go along your arms to make sure that the most common swipe with a sword or an axe or a polearm will contact those first. So those will catch things before the actual quilted armor will. I have given you your armor and options before you move into the castle, as well as just a bit of a friend. I think now would be a good time to take a 10-minute break. Does that sound good to you?
All right. We will be back in 5 to 10, folks, because we're on StreamYards and don't have a "we'll be back" thing. What we're just going to do is going to mute out the cameras and close the mics, but we will be back in 10 minutes or less, guys. Thanks for tuning in here, and we will be right back.
Whoever gets back first gets to talk to chat.
That's true. Whoever gets back before 7:48 gets to talk to chat. Deal.
Oh, looks like I'm back first. Oh no. What a surprise. And yes, Pax is right. Everyone put on your tinfoil hats. Tinfoil hats. They'll make you not microwave safe. I'm not sure they really have any other use. They're not good for the rain. They trap in too much heat to be good for the sun. Yeah, they just make you not microwave safe.
I think they're very stylish.
Of course you do. Yeah, I don't think there is any way to safely microwave someone's head. I mean, I generally don't think it's a good idea to microwave anything with that amount of bone material in it. And bones and microwaves, it's just not a good idea. And the way that they heat things up with the bone marrow and all of that, it's not a good idea.
I predict science will find a way.
Microwaving said it could make the world safer, but I think that there's cleaner and more efficient ways to go about disposing of that person.
James, how many times do I have to tell you not to give disposal of bodies advice away on stream? We got to charge for that. What do we got on? Look at all these fun people we got here.
We do have some great fun people in the audience tonight.
We got some awesome people on today. Paximo's here. Hi, Liz. How you doing? Larry.
Yeah, Larry's here. We've got Merc. I saw that the Aussie Gamer stopped in. Didn't you play a game with him recently?
Yesterday, yeah. We've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2, but doing voiceovers for all the characters. It's been really fun.
And that is a pretty fun game, too.
Hey, there's Aaron. Is that Aaron Williams? Look at that.
Yes, it is.
All right. Very cool. One of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you see what poor state my notebooks are in. Yeah, that's okay. I really need to clean that bookshelf.
I cleaned my bookshelf just the other day, and then I got into the garage. When I was cleaning the garage, I found another entire tote full of books. So, yeah. All the old stuff. I now have 2 complete totes full of first edition books that I've stumbled upon. Oh, these packs?
They're clear.
Yeah, they're clear.
I wouldn't know that either, except he stopped by yesterday. We had pizza. It was good times.
Okay. They're clear.
Oh, pizza and tinfoil hats.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 of my favorite things.
I wore a tinfoil hat on Metaverse for a couple episodes, and that thing scratched the crap out of my scalp.
I know, I was there. You were not having a good time.
I'm never wearing another tinfoil hat.
However, you were selling the part. You had the shiny part of the tinfoil outward.
Well, Pax, they are gaming books, not like novels or anything like that. They're old, outdated RPG books, which I'm sure some collector would love, but then I wouldn't have them anymore.
Right. Maybe I would.
Maybe I'm the collector.
It's entirely possible. RPG books, I pass them on to RPG players. I generally don't hang on to them very long.
Hell yeah.
There are some that I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of. I've got the the Marvel Superheroes game box set from 80s, which I'm not throwing any of that stuff away. I can't find it anywhere for the most part.
Yeah, I've got the original BattleTech and CityTech box sets out there, and I'm not going to get rid of those.
I've just got Kelly's old Kelly's old BattleTech stuff. I mean,
bless him.
Stuff.
A good boy.
Stack of books about
I've got a handful of rule books that I hope to play at some point, but haven't gotten around to, like Gaslands or.
I know I left a few over there. You still got some of mine.
Oh, I make use of them. They're 3rd edition based shenanigans, but I'm glad to have them.
See, I've got some old 1st edition modules and basic D&D modules I'm keeping because it's just now getting to the point where all the players that show up to play games these days have no idea what these modules are, and I can actually use them again.
Yeah. Hey, James, I'm players.
I know.
Oh, I didn't show you. Did I show you that my wig came in, James? I know you probably saw it laying out on the counter on the head yesterday, but
I did. I saw the new wig. That's nice.
Yeah, it's human hair. I have to have it like cut and styled, but it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
For more BattleTech shenanigans.
Excuse me.
Yep, that's going to be some Judas Paradigm hair, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta figure out my shit for that.
Yes. Speaking of, there'll be an email going out for BSR stuff this week where I'll need some more information from people.
Yeah. Well, I'm around.
Hey, we're in pre-production with it, and if we're going to be sitting here stuck in our houses for another month, let's get as much pre-production done as possible, shall we?
Yeah. Absolutely. And I talked to Christian about character building and stuff, and I think I shot you a message about some very specific weaponry that I wanted involved in the mech. So
I'm leaving a lot of that in the hands of Christian.
Beautiful. If I'll give presumably we have a lower viewer count for this stream than anything else.
We actually have a great viewer count right now. We've got 18 folks watching it, so.
Ooh, that ain't bad.
All right,
so let's give them something to watch.
We got our
Let's
stuff.
give them something to watch. Welcome back, everybody, for the second half of the finale of what I am calling Crawl Royale, where our beautiful, intrepid heroes, who are played by Christian and James, by the names of Barclay Knox, played by Christian, and the name of Brother Onahay, played by James. I'm sure that I screwed that up because I was a little excited. I like to have fun.
Technically his name is Mac Onahay. And
that's right. We established Mac. So, Brother Mac Onahay.
Yeah, if you say it really fast, you'll figure it out.
Mac Onahay.
All right.
All right. Can I get a little more southern twang on that?
All right.
All right.
So
we've all heard James' one impression now. Good. Well,
I love these D&D games, man. I get older and they stay the same age.
Okay. I mean, all right.
Uh-oh, we just lost an Ethan there.
Yeah, what do we need him for?
I think he'll be popping back. There he is. Let's see if I can include him in here.
up.
There you go.
Now
you're back.
Screwed it all up because I was trying to switch over to the Roll20 tab as opposed to the StreamYard tab, and I believe I was a little low and a little left and hit the back page thing on StreamYard. So that's on me. So things that were accomplished so far in this session. You know, with the necromancer who you have made friends with, got a group of undead to escort you to the castle proper, which is your destination. Moving onward from that, you were relatively easily able to, after finding a secret entrance on the hands of Brother Onahay, infiltrator Paragon, as it were, able to find yourselves into the castle grounds, well, not into the actual keep proper. You made friends with a completely bone undead by the name of Bonesworth, an old butler of the previous necromancer of this area after he was unfortunately required to A, die, and B, give his power to his apprentice. After that, you went into one of the handful of buildings, the one that Bonesworth told you would probably have the best loot.
And also contained one of the other competitors in our game show.
Absolutely. You were able to make a sort of deal with them, promising them that they would be able to take third place, as it were, and move on forward with a bit of their help and a solid amount of the gear that they had acquired based upon the various things they had found in the guardhouse and the mystical rapier, the rapier that they had found previously before.
And of course, even more important, a scroll of invisibility for my good friend Barclay.
And a scroll of invisibility.
This magical half plate is not going to be very quiet, I have a feeling.
Yes, but if they can't see you, that will make a difference.
What is the stats on half plate, PS?
Half plate will give you an armor class of 15 plus your dexterity modifier to a maximum of 2, as well as disadvantage on your stealth rolls.
So it's the same as what I've got.
Yeah, it'll be the same armor class overall, more than likely.
It is, to be clear, +1 half plate, so it'll give you 16 plus your dexterity, and also be magical for things that might matter.
All right, I'm on it.
So if you have a dexterity bonus, you're doing a little better than before.
Yeah.
I do. I have a +1. Feeling
all right,
good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Instead of a 12, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a lot better than a 12. It's going to be up to a 17, I believe. Brother Anahe was able to acquire and easily fit themselves to a set of a proper, well-maintained gambeson and jack chains. So they have essentially, mechanically speaking, a +1 set of studded leather armor.
And a fancy sword, which advantage on environmental saves is kind of a big deal.
It is a bit of a big deal. And again, I'm just going to put this forward. If this...
Uh-oh. You dropped out again, my friend.
You know what he just put forward is nothing.
Yes.
All right.
You put forward nothing. Nothing at all.
Assuming this means that we win and get all the XPs?
Perhaps you win and get all the XPs. If this was a home game, I would be a lot more specific about the situations in which that sword's ability would apply. However, since everything is fake and we're making it all up, especially in this sort of short, very specific environment that I've put you in, I will let you know.
I think it should help out.
Let me know.
All right.
Well, with Miss Carissa here, let's find a way into this castle, find a way to a throne room, and get paid.
Yep.
Absolutely. So you enter into the main gates of the castle after collecting this various multitude of lightly magical items. And you are pushing forward. Are you pushing forward nonchalantly or exploratorily, or are you trying to do
we should go full stealth? And I think, depending upon the length that invisibility will last, it might be the time to use it.
How do we tell?
It will work the same as the spell.
Yeah, it's going to look up the old player's handbook. It's going to give you up to an hour of invisibility.
That is correct.
I think it is the time to use it, and we should try to reach this throne room with as little trouble as possible.
Agreed. We know it's going to be either up or down. We know it's not on the main floor like most throne rooms.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it would be down, mostly because they would want to prevent anyone from just being able to climb a tower, enter a window, and immediately breach the throne room. But it could be on an upper floor if it's secured somehow.
Very good. The two of you notice as you enter in, as well as Carissa, the halfling roguish type, that it is very clearly strange for the layout of a castle, which makes sense given what Bonesworth was able to tell you.
They rearranged the place.
They rearranged the place. As soon as you enter the main hall, there is a hallway, which is your only way forward, in theory, minus a handful of doors going to the left and then pushing further on forward.
All right, let's get into some full stealth mode here and creep ahead as quietly as we can.
So I guess I read the scroll and, say the magic words on it and do the thing, make myself invisible.
Baratu, Nick.
Absolutely. You, Christian, unless you should break it, whether by attacking someone or casting a spell, will be completely invisible, which, I like to do the old-fashioned way because I'm sure that the rules exist, but I'm not sure what they are. We'll give you a plus 20 to your stealth checks.
Okay.
This should allow us to slip in unnoticed, I'm thinking.
Absolutely. Can I get stealth checks from the both of you?
Absolutely.
I am going to assume that Carissa succeeds as a follower, because if I had you kids go forward and attempt to roll stealth checks and a random NPC led you to, get discovered, that would not be good game design. And I am not going to make that happen because I like to make sure my players have fun.
I guess 35?
35 is going to land it.
Beat James on a stealth check for this character.
Absolutely.
Invisibility makes a difference.
35 is more than going to do it, and a 20 is going to be absolutely successful. As you go through these winding main corridors, Carissa tells you, "Hey, I did a bit of looking around, and as far as I can tell, as long as you follow the main corridors down and forward, that should be able to bring you to the throne room proper."
Well, let's go that way.
I'm on board.
Pushing onward, downward, and forward, you are relatively easily able to find yourselves going down these hallways, and with no doors within 60 feet of it, I'll say the closest one is at 65 feet-ish, since everything in 5th edition and many other things is in 5-foot increments. You find what looks to be, looking down, a pit that you cannot discern the bottom of. What would you like to do?
That's strange.
Maybe toss a torch down? I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm invisible. See?
Yeah,
That was pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
that's pretty great. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I believe you have a handful of torches that you were able to collect, and if not, I will give that to you easily going through the
We
guard's
did have
house.
some torches. We did have some torches.
Beautiful.
I think that might be the best bet. But instead, because, I've got limitless 0-level spells, I will just cast light on an object and drop it down the pit.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's how cantrips work. So you cast light on presumably a small piece of pebble or a small piece of rubble and drop it on down the pit.
Yep. See what I see as it falls.
Yeah. You are relatively easily able to see approximately 30 feet of movement before it completely disappears and the light source is snuffed out.
That's strange.
Indeed it is.
No, that's bottomless.
Well, it's time to pull out one of my other tricks.
Air quotes, could you? There were air quotes when I said bottomless.
Right. Magically bottomless would be your probable guess. Or illusory bottomless, in which It might not be, but it definitely might be.
Either way, it will probably kill you.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and use one of my sense the presence of undead uses and see if I can sense any undead within 60 feet of me.
I would say that you can sense the presence of one particular undead following you along the same route that you took, around exactly 60 feet behind you. They are sort of, how long does that spell last?
It's not a spell, it's just an ability. I open my awareness and I magically detect them until the end of my next turn.
Beautiful. You open it and you seem completely clear, and then there is one singular undead that enters that rate, moving at higher than the average humanoid speed towards you, along the same exact route that you followed.
So we're being chased by an undead.
That would be one way to consider it. I can't tell you yes or no because that's
Either
how DM
Bonesworth
work
is
works.
following us, or we're being chased by an undead. All right, ladies and gentlemen, set for ambush.
Oh, I figured I was set with the being invisible.
We're being followed by an undead.
Sorry, where the fuck are you again?
I'm right here.
Oh, fine. Absolutely. Totally fine.
All right, so do we wait for it?
Yeah, I mean, it was getting closer and moving fast, so
All right.
it should be here momentarily. Let's see what happens.
Beautiful. So you sit and you wait in ready position for something to ambush you from the backside.
Yeah, we're
Of
prepared
your
being stealthy.
party's
And,
movement.
yeah, we're going to ambush it because it's going to think that we're not here when it shows up.
Absolutely. I'm going to use the stealth rolls that you rolled beforehand, and I will
5.
1 die 20 plus... Excuse me. I entered that before it was ready. And I know it's not going to be enough no matter what I roll. You're all going to be just fine. So you see just the very tip of Bonesworth's head poke around a corner. Just a little bit over the distance that you traveled back towards the weird zigzagging tunnels inside this castle.
It's Bonesworth.
Hello, Bonesworth.
Seems to be. Hello. I apologize. I was attempting to be undetectable.
Yeah, that doesn't work with me.
Fair enough. I will return to the shadows, if you don't mind.
Why are you following us, Bonesworth?
Careful, you're stepping on my foot.
I'm very sorry. I cannot see people who are completely invisible.
Why are you following us, Bonesworth?
I would like to see that you are the people who would be willing to win or enter the end of everything as we stand and understand it.
Okay.
You looking for a job?
I'm not looking for a job, however. If you find yourselves still here when this all is done, I would be in the market for friends. I'm very, very lonely.
Fair enough, Bonesworth. I just thought that you were, some other undead trying to sneak up behind us and attack us.
Any undead you may find should not be of any worry because I believe as you explained it, or possibly you did not, but I can feel it tugging at my situation.
Do you want to come?
All of the undead within the city are under the control of the baby necromancer.
I just had this strange feeling that something showed up when we walked inside the castle here, some like guardian or something, but I'm glad it was you instead.
Oh, thank you. I am very strange.
I've seen a lot stranger here.
Fan favorite at home already.
You're great, Bonesworth. You're not strange.
It seems like it based on the chat.
All right, so we can try and cross this pit or try and descend this pit. Those are our options here, guys?
It seems to be approximately 20 feet across, totally 100% absolutely covering the hallway as you go forward. And if I may be so able, I would like to refer to the things that may or may not be on sale in the chat.
No, yeah, there are some things in chat. We have a store, guys. There is.
We have a store currently running.
I think so, at least.
Nobody said we had a store.
That's on me. I should have mentioned it before, but that's because
I think the store is still up. Let me check. I don't want to say if it's not.
Tell me if it's up, and then I'll stop if it's not.
It looks like the Metaverse store is still up, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Is there a general donation option there?
At any point, I believe they can hit. They can go to our Stray Logic store, which somebody. Let me see if I can make it come up here. I think you do this.
I like this.
Hey, Nightbot did it. Yay. Thank you, Merc.
Beautiful.
So there's a store if you want to contribute anything at any point to us and our shows. And you know, if you like our shows or you want to see more of our shows.
And personally, I'd love it because the more money you contribute while I am game mastering means the more games that I get to master.
That's a fact.
That's
a
fact.
The more you contribute to Zoe in general, the more programming you get to see. We would love to do shows like all the time for all of you, but that would require that, you know, it pays the bills.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to run games. I especially love to run games for James and Christian because these are some of the players I keep in my home game and various, you know, before all of the shenanigans that are currently going on, stuff happened. These were two of my most driven players. So I believe
We like to get things done.
In ascending order, there were some options of things that may be spent in the store. You can spend a relatively smaller amount of money to give either, I believe, both of the characters advantage, which is through the inspiration. So either of the player characters may spend their inspiration to get advantage on the next roll.
Oh, we just got one, and because the store wasn't up, while Ethan explains, you will let Ethan know, Merc, if any of those things are something you would like to contribute for.
Absolutely. I believe it was $15 to make a encounter that you were dealing with harder through something that was on my bones, and $20 to make you all as a group pick up some sort of loot or thing that would make everything easier, because everybody loves a little bit of a magic item.
Yep. So we've got to, you know, give us inspiration or up the challenge or up the loot are all options. And, you know, since Merc contributed, it's Merc's call to make. And thank you for the $20 contribution.
Thank you very much.
Loot is what Merc wants. Thank you much, Merc.
I like loot.
The advantage we can get.
Loot.
I will have to situate stuff.
Let's just keep moving with it, and as soon as it comes up, oh, see, there we go.
That's it. So $20 will still be enough for loot. $25 is to make an encounter more difficult.
No worries.
And $10 is to award inspiration to.
Loot is good.
Absolutely. So, Merc, as I deal with this situation, I will work to make it more balanced and more fit into the whatever the situation. What is the basic concept of whatever they are picking up that you would like to see? So, once again,
come up with an idea of what you want us to get. Merc, for
what
loot.
kind of loot do we get?
I like that.
Bonesworth seems to be aware of you, and the three of you. If you say stagecoach, you absolutely can, but we are not in a locale that will be pro stagecoach. This is confined
inside of a castle
hallways.
I am so glad you can't see the look on my face right now.
I really wish I could, because I have a strange feeling I know exactly what it would be. A little pensive, a little excited, and 60% disappointed.
No, it's. I mean, it's not bad. It's like
Oh, I lived with you. I know exactly what that means. So,
shall we make our way?
Yeah.
absolutely. You are both in front of a 20-foot crevasse.
All right. You also have a $20 to Ethan's choice.
Absolutely. I will keep it in mind.
Thank you very much, Aaron Morrison.
Yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
Christian just has his camera off because he's invisible.
It's true. It's totally in character.
Yeah, he's just playing part. And of course, he's wearing no pants. And he probably didn't put on pants at all today, ever, at any point.
Listen, I personally always wear pants when I'm out of bed. You can see the denim and the leather boot.
Yeah,
And it looks like Merc's treasure item would like to be the floating white orbs with the keywords. It's a 5e item. I'm not sure what that is, but you probably have a better idea than I do.
I will try and figure that out. However,
How are we
what
going
would
to
you
get this
both
pit?
like to do?
We need to find a way across this pit.
there is a way across this pit. Probably like an invisible bridge or a lever. Maybe you just have to trust that you're gonna, go across. Close your eyes and just walk.
You go ahead and there's a link in the chat for it, Ethan. A drift globe is what it's called.
Beautiful. I will take that and I will look into it as you continue to explain what you would like to do.
Looking up, is there anything we could maybe swing across if we had rope and?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like there's, various things, relatively curved buttresses and supports for the stonework above you and the floors above you, as well as a handful of relatively, low structural intensity roots. But definitely things that are designed to hold up stonework floors.
Good to know.
Well, 20-foot gap is pretty substantial.
It is.
We're
It
not
is
gonna
not
go
something you
jump
can just
that.
hop.
No, not even without the armor.
Indeed. And also, upon that, wedged into one of the sort of corner cases of the buttresses up above, you see what looks to be a small... Let me put this horizontally and close my water bottle so I can get the proper visual demonstration. A small spherical object lodged deliberately within one of the buttresses above. It looks like from this distance, probably around the size of a humanoid fist.
Oh, neat.
Oh, how do we get that?
Mage hand.
Makes
That's
sense.
how we get it. But I'll break my invisibility.
Does that break invisibility?
It does. Casting a spell or making an attack roll breaks invisibility.
Okay, well then let's not have you do that.
I think that makes sense. We should make it, maintain the invisibility on our...
You have any rope, Carissa?
Any what?
I've got a... Hold on, let me look through the bag. And you can see her take what looks to be some sort of leather backpack off of her back. Start to dig through. I've got about 25 feet of hemp rope.
That works.
I have the invisibility spell.
That's
I've
wonderful.
played a warlock before, so this is still definitely worth it.
I forgot all about these spells. I've got some good spells. I
Let's
never
see if I can rope it.
hit things, and I use them and I turn them into smites.
Let's see if I can rope it with this rope we got here.
Absolutely. You can definitely easily
Is it
send the
wedged
rope
above
over,
the pit?
but you'll have to rope a dexterity. I'm going to say sleight of hand to get that very exact throwing over.
Yeah, I can give that a shot. I was gonna say,
Absolutely.
is it wedged in over the pit or wedged in over us?
It is wedged in just a little bit over the pit.
All right. Well, we'll try it this way, and if it doesn't work, I have an alternative plan. It just takes 2 people.
All right.
14 on the sleight of hand.
I would believe that would be enough to relatively easily shoot the end of a rope, especially if you tied something to it, which you, as a trained in-character shenanigan-rear, would be able to do. Throw the bit right through the buttress and then send it right on back down.
Perfect. Let's grab this globe. And now it's time for the second part of this lovely trick act. Now that we have this spherical object, I have an idea for getting us over the pit.
Do we have rope?
With this 25 feet of rope, yes, I have a brilliant idea for getting us over the pit.
And it's currently tied off.
Over there right now.
It's tied off. Let's go ahead and just swing on over. Unless you have an alternative plan.
Well, alternatively, I suppose I could teleport to the other side and throw you the rope.
Now, that is an option.
That
But I
sounds-
don't know if it's a better option than what is currently set up, given one character climbed up the rope.
That sounds so awesome. So you should
It
just
does sound awesome. It does sound very
Absolutely.
fun, but I prefer you stay in business.
Take an advantage with proficiency dexterity check. So whatever dexterity skill you have proficiency in it, take it with advantage, because that's
All right.
very Pulp Fiction, which I am only here to support,
All right.
because I love Indiana Jones.
I'm going to go with acrobatics because it's
Would we
my
do the
dexterity skill of
Can
choice.
we be less problematic?
Yeah. It's you got a solid throw, a reasonable throw if it was not over a pit.
I'm going to take the natural 20 with a 28 for the acrobatics check
Yeah.
to get across.
However, you lean down almost 90 degrees at where the pelvis meets the spine and immediately catch it with your offhand and bring it back up.
Nice.
Relatively easily, you are able to make a slip knot and climb on over. And then Bonesworth, the butler who has been following you, gives you that very sly thumbs up. I promise I am not attempting to leave you in danger's way. However, I would like to believe that you would prefer to keep your rope at your side.
Well, why don't you come across, Bonesworth?
Oh, I can absolutely get across on my own merits. But would it be all right if I had untied this rope?
Absolutely, it would.
Beautiful. And then they go in and they very quickly, with their various many, 10 bony fingers, just fucking like slap that shit right out of order and then toss it right over. And then they step back a handful of feet and jump right over. No problem.
I'll give Carissa her rope back. All right, let's try and see if we can find our way to this throne room. Let's get back into stealth mode. ladies and gentlemen.
I thank you. I believe, if my understanding is correct, it should only be a handful more corridors forward. So be careful. I'll be careful, and I presume Bonesworth will be careful. Yes.
Would one of you, and I hate to ask, would one of you sneak types, check and make sure that we're good? Something about long hallways freaks me out.
Right. We'll stay here. We'll check out the hallway. We'll make sure that nobody sneaks up on you from behind. Does that sound good?
About traps.
Yeah, I was talking about traps.
That's a good idea.
Oh yes, we can absolutely
for traps.
And we can also absolutely, after you get in the main throne room, deal with the whole situation in the hallways. If any, excuse me. I found a bit of wine that was approximately 70% vinegar, but it wasn't bad. So
that means it was 30% wine.
That means it's 30% wine and 70% also not anything that's going to be poisonous to you, even if you might throw up a little bit. So Bonesworth and I will make sure, check out the hallway, make sure there's no traps in front of you, and then
I think the two of us can check for traps together, Chris, so we'll be faster at covering the hallway.
Absolutely. We'll cover your arses. Does that sound good?
All right. Let's check this hallway for traps as we make our way down towards whatever this throne room may be and whatever horrible things will be waiting ahead of us. Still doing our best to maintain this stealth approach.
I love it. Both of you make investigation checks. However, I'm going to say that Brother Anahe, who is presumably going to be better at it, will make it at advantage. And that is a natural 20 plus 8, which is exceedingly confident that this hallway is just stone. However, you do notice a handful of various cobblestones and whatnot that seem to be a little bit darker of color and a little bit, like, slightly a handful of centimeters recessed. But upon further inspection, you're extremely confident that they will not be a problem, and they are just to give the impression of traps being planted in this hallway.
Interesting.
However, Barclay Knox.
Oh, another tip from Nicole Allen. Thank you, Nicole Allen.
Thank you. Nicole,
Very
what would
cool.
you like? Waiting
let us
until...
know what you want, Nicole, and we'll keep going.
Absolutely. Waiting until Nicole gives us something. The two of you are relatively easily, even with Barclay Knox's absolute confidence that, well, those are slightly different colors, and those are slightly recessed from the entire face of the cobblestones on the floor.
All right, Nicole Allen got inspiration.
Inspiration. I love it. Both of you can mark inspiration on your character sheets, and when you feel the necessity to, you can mark that off and roll with advantage.
Love it.
Thank you. That's actually really, really handy.
That is exceptionally handy. Let's try and clear this throne room action. Let's get closer to the throne and maybe even get a peek in at what we're dealing with ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Formulate a battle plan.
So, now, on the website that we're all using, I believe I have moved you over to a new situation.
Yes, and if you want to, once you get things situated, you can hit share screen, and it will take the place of your screen, and the viewers at home can look at the layout of what we're going to be dealing with.
Absolutely. I'm going to say share screen. I'm going to allow it. Remember this decision. However, it says I am not allowed to allow it. So could the one of the two of you share the screen?
I don't know if I can do it because I've got... I've got two monitors going. Let me see if it works.
Yeah, I definitely can't.
Great. I've only got the one. However...
Let me see if this works. No, that isn't... Oh, wait. I might be able to. Try that.
Whoa!
Oh, that looks like it. If you would like to zoom out the screen a bit and then scroll up and down. I think this makes a lot of sense anyway, because then that way the stream viewers will not be able to see the various things that I have open and the math that you will be subjected to.
I don't. Let me see if I can zoom
I'll
out.
be able to see the
If
roll.
you,
The
yeah, if you,
roll was super on point.
How's that for zoomed out?
Heck yeah.
I think that's pretty good. And I can do the Shift Tab functionality to move you over.
And then we're down at this end, right?
You will be down at this end.
Perfect.
And I believe that should have shifted you over.
Excellent.
And the two of you, as you move through the hallway, see a approximately 45-degree turn to the left, and then what looks to be some sort of opening into a large chamber. What would you like to do?
I would like to walk up that way towards the large chamber.
I like large chamber. And since you were able to grab it, by the way, either of you can decide who got the drift globe that I pasted into the Roll20 chat on their character sheet.
It's pretty neat. It's basically a continuously functioning, floating, following ball of light that can do daylight once a day.
Absolutely.
If you leave it behind, it will follow you. It's pretty cool.
It seems pretty damn sick.
Yeah.
All right, let's try this stealth approach because we know that there's some kind of horrible, horrible entity up ahead.
Indeed. Also, for reference, James/Brother Anahe is using the Faceless Man from our beautiful, beautiful early seasons of Game of Thrones. TM. And then our friend Christian/Barclay Knox is using a professional wrestler whose name I cannot remember to save my life. TM.
Elias.
That's right. That is Elias. He's the guitar man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I thought so with the beard and the hair, but I was not confident enough to say it, and that is more than enough to say that I didn't know what it was.
Yep, I based the character off of the Faceless Men from Game of Thrones. That's what I designed this character to be like.
And?
I just wanted to pick somebody that killed people with charisma.
And that's Elias.
And that's Elias, man.
That's Elias.
All right, so let's stealthily take this throne room and hopefully get through the portal. Now, worst case, we just go through the portal and screw it on the bad guy, but that's worst case.
Beautiful. So, could I get the two of you to make stealth checks?
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to add 20 to this. 28.
Not doing particularly great on that.
Technically, that's going to be a 26,
Oh,
which is still very good.
You said disadvantage, right? I forgot because of the...
No, of course. Of course. I'm still going to make this check. And I rolled a 9, which is still going to be less than enough for James's 14.
That's all right.
That is all right. So you are able to move on forward relatively comfortably until you enter its very obvious field of view.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and move the map as I move my icon on the map. I'm going to do it slowly in the fashion that he is using to move to get into the room.
Absolutely. I think that's absolutely clear. Christian, where would you like to go?
I'm with him. I mean, where did you get?
I don't know if I can move his icon, but I'm going to try.
I'm right here, bud.
Okay. All right.
Both behind the pillar. And you can see this this creature, which looks to be almost a much like Bonesworth described, a chest piece and a helmet made of steel very ornately, and obviously, not practically, in a way that would be very fancy and very reminiscent of a Kingsguard, but you can see in the pseudo-humanoid shape filling in where the face under the helmet would be, and filling in the two arms, and filling in the long, almost serpentine back end coming out of the base of the chest piece. It looks like smoke billowing at almost an 80 miles per hour.
That's strange.
Indeed it is. So Barclay, are you willingly in the middle of nowhere, just having a good time? Because it seems to be standing in front of the throne, completely just waiting.
Oh yeah, I'm just. But not whistling.
Right, not whistling, but completely willing to be, hey.
Also, I
I'm
think
here.
that is whistling, in case you're wondering.
Right.
I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident with this invisibility. Like I really got something going on.
You're completely invisible, and I also smacked a handful of glass things that are left on my table together, and that's totally on me. But fuck it. No rules, no laws.
So if I, for example, attacked him, would I just get advantage?
You would get advantage because it is completely unaware of you.
I think it's time to prepare the classic ambush strategy that we have used many times before.
Indeed. Regardless of the fact that you're straight in front of it, invisibility makes all things that you are carrying and wearing also invisible after a brief moment. So any weapons you might be carrying are totally...
I think I would like to, first of all, I need to go with the combo here as usual. I like to mark people with my curse before I attack them in the surprise round and attempt to assassinate them.
I like to do.
Particularly because my assassinate only works when I surprise the enemy.
Beautiful. I love it. So, can I get an attack and damage roll from Christian and a curse from James?
I want to give him my Hexblade's curse. I want to make sure he's the guy,
Right. Hexblade's curse does not count as a spell, so you can do that before you hit, before your invisibility drops, and then we will roll initiative after all of this happens.
Perfect.
Okay. And I mean, as I'm attacking, I want to because I'm real close to him at this point. I just want to whisper loud enough for him to hear. Hotcakes.
Yeah, as you get right up in there, can obviously feel this semi-humanoid figure immediately turn to face you, even if it cannot see you.
Right there, and then I'm just like, hotcakes.
Hotcakes. Give me that attack roll. At advantage, of course.
I'm going to see if I can do that power attacky thing from the Great Weapon Master on it.
Absolutely.
Because that would be rad.
Radical, as it were.
I have to find. Okay, right. This needs to be plus 10 and not plus 9. So add 2 to whatever this is.
You already have an advantage, so that's going to be an 18, which is going to just enough connect with that armor class.
Lovely. Roll that beautiful damage.
Okay. right? And
Woo!
then there's the fire damage too, right?
Yeah, if you use your bonus action, which I think is already taken up by the Hexblade's Curse, so you'll have to do that next turn.
Groovy.
Good. Let's do some initiative.
Beautiful. We are going to do initiative right after I take a brief break because I have to use the restroom because I've been drinking a lot of water. So
we'll wait for you to get back. We will attempt to keep the audience
Beautiful.
entertained until you return.
Beautiful.
Are we
Be back in 5 to 7 minutes. Have a good time.
Okay.
I'd say you too, but that would just be weird.
Right? Yeah. No.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing's got to be some kind of ghost, right?
I want to say so, but I'm not entirely certain. I have prepared a contingency plan if that is the case.
What do you mean? Like, you have a special thing that you do if there's ghosts?
Yeah, well, protection from evil in 5th edition gives them all disadvantage on their attack rolls against you.
Oh my gosh, I've got that.
Yeah. So, I mean, possibly. There's also, this thing is probably highly resistant to damage, but I bet there's some way to hurt it involving that armor.
Yeah. I miss heat metal.
And Fey and a variety of other things, Mark. 5th edition protection from evil is actually pretty expansive. I had another contingency plan, but I'm hoping I don't have to use it.
I don't even want to know, do I?
Probably not. But hey, it's not like the other contingency plan we had in the Sunday game that involved the, what was it, like 5 pounds of explosive powder and a 50-pound bag of nails?
Yeah, that was a good contingency plan.
Oh, yeah, it was. I mean,
if you have that going on...
I just liked your assessment that when you saw the shopping list we were getting from Gretchold, you thought this will get us on every terror watch list. Yes, in fact, it would. These are everything you need for a nice little bout in insurgency. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. An insurgency. That's the technical term.
Well, I mean, if we're being technical, it's also murder.
Hey. It's all about your terminology, Preemptive strike sounds better than ambush. See, this wasn't an assassination or an ambush in the throne room. It's just a preemptive strike. See, it's all about using the proper vocabulary.
Secured the perimeter is better than saying killed everyone in the village.
Absolutely. See, granted, almost all of these things come from the United States military. Imagine that.
I'm trying, but it's very difficult. Hold on. Nope, can't do it.
I mean, it's just that's just how it goes. There are other things that they do that are absolutely wonderful, along those lines. For example, the rules of warfare as they're established between numerous what's known as civilized nations, because there's some reason they have to be civilized about warfare. I don't even want to get started on that. Is crew-operated weapons, such as a heavy machine gun mounted on the roof of a Humvee, or any other crew-operated weapon, is technically not eligible to be used to target individual enemy soldiers.
Yeah, that's true.
So what they do is they teach you to target the enemy's equipment, like the canteen on their belt, or the webbed vest that they're currently wearing, or their helmet. Yes, that's how you get around using those lovely things. Which on that factor, lovely known fact, the United States military has never signed, and neither is the United States as a nation, the Geneva Conventions. That's not something they did. We're not a participant in that. We do follow some of the rules from it, but we never signed that. It's important. It's an important distinction. There are certain things we still do that would be very illegal if we were subject to those Geneva Conventions.
Wow.
Bayonets being a very popular one. Bayonets not okay under Geneva Conventions.
Well, they're kind of mean. I mean, what's scarier than a gun? A
A
knife?
gun with a knife mounted on it. But they're moving away from things like that. The rifle they're using to replace the M4s and AR-15s are not fitted to run with a bayonet. They can't do it anymore. They're moving away from those.
Baby steps, I guess.
Yeah, baby steps. Interesting changes in the modern equipment used for warfare. Lots of ways of inflicting death.
I know.
I mean, even now, it's most of the stuff I used is obsolete, and they don't even carry it anymore.
I'm hoping that maybe they just hug now.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that that's a thing.
But I mean, it's okay for me to think that, right?
I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the one other arm.
The M16 is obsolete. It doesn't do the same kind of damage as, say, a really well-placed hug.
Well, they do similar things. I mean, when I was overseas in Afghanistan, the Army did the whole hearts and minds thing. But, I wasn't in the Army. I wasn't giving out candy to the kids or putting in wells for the villages. I was the other hand, which is the Marine Corps, which we go by shock and awe. It's a different story.
I'm just
But
saying.
they were over there winning hearts and minds.
Yeah, well-placed hug, man. That can change your mind forever.
You don't send Marines to do hearts and minds. You just don't.
Oh no. I mean, you can't. I mean, you spend so much time beating the personality out of those people.
Yeah, there's not much left. And what it is trained is just a trained attack dog. It's not really good for the whole hearts and minds.
It's like it doesn't mind if you scratch behind its ears. Hell, it even likes it.
It's just a whole different approach to things.
I like to think they're just hugging.
Yeah. I have no idea. Ethan's bladder could be the size of a whoopee cushion, or it might be the size of a walnut. I really don't know. I don't care to think about it, to be honest.
You did say 5 to 7 minutes.
That's true.
So I believe him.
Another one shot in the world of the modern Prometheus. I wouldn't have an issue with that. I'm pretty much always down to play a game. Hey, we have an Ethan.
It's Ethan. Hey, Ethan.
All right, he did some damage. Let's roll some initiative and kill some armor.
All right, I'm in.
I'm not sure you can kill armor, but I'm going to do it.
Ha! 6.
I will take the 20.
God damn it. You have a +10 to initiative.
That is correct.
That's awesome.
Well,
You're so observant and alert.
yeah, I've got the alert feat and a 20 dexterity score. So a bonus of 10 to initiative is just how I roll. Go first, go last.
The Ricky Bobby method of combat.
Yes, I prefer the Ricky Bobby method of combat for the most part. I mean, our Sunday game, not so much, but this one, absolutely. On our Sunday game, Quint just tries to tie up the enemies as long as possible and really annoy them by their inability to cause him harm.
He does a great job of it, though.
I'm not hearing you if you're talking, Ethan.
Are you talking?
Well, I am now. I had my mic muted,
Were you talking?
Okay.
but now I am.
All right, now we can hear you. So, is that the turn order?
That is the turn order. First on the docket is going to be Brother Anahe.
Okay.
You see Barclay Knox raise their mighty greatsword, damned be to the pikemen of the worlds, and just fucking get on in there and do some solid damage. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm going to back up my good friend, Barclay Knox, particularly because I have also cursed this son of a bitch, and I'm about to assassinate this son of a bitch.
Indeed. I've not moved yet.
So here we go for some assassination, curse, action, attack with advantage. I'm either going to get that one, which isn't going to be very good, or I'm going to get the second one, which is going to be a lot better, and I'm going to definitely take that second one at a 23, as it's 10 points better than the 13.
Oh, and you're damn sure that 23 is going to hit.
Yes, it is. So, because it's an assassination, it is already a critical hit. And because of my Curse of the Grave, the damage is going to be doubled.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to get this damage roll out here, and then you go ahead and we can double whatever that ends up being. Because I'm a mean, vicious bastard like that.
Damn right. And that's what I asked you to do. I wanted you to be mechanically fun to play. So that's going to be a total of minus 44.
A 44-point hit.
You going for the swing, you get a solid hit. As you go through, you can tell that obviously your swing goes straight through the arm of this thing and go straight into the armor. But you get a solid dent against the tempered steel that you are working against.
And that's a really low damage roll, to be
That's a
honest.
really low damage roll.
Exceedingly low, but still very good.
That's okay.
Moving on.
It all adds up in the end.
Exactly. Moving on. You may think that it is the initiative of the King's Guard. However,
I did think that.
However, that's still a lie because I did not put the various layer actions available to it on the initiative, which act on 20 and lose all ties.
Uh-oh.
So, could I get the two of you to make dexterity saving throws?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, indeed.
Don't want.
As
I
this
don't think anyone
thing
wants to.
I did good.
All right, here it goes.
Could I get the two of you to also
This is definitely a time to use that inspiration because 13 is not going to cut it.
Absolutely. And in our home games, and I'm doing it now, I will use inspiration to allow people to re-roll various checks.
The one thing I want to check before I do that is this an environmental-based saving throw? Would my sword come into play?
You know it is, so you'd already
so I'm
have...
not going to use my inspiration. Instead, I'm just going to take the advantage from my sword and get a second attempt at that and hope it's
Absolutely.
better.
You notice, I'm going to say this as you make your roll, which I have seen is a 19, which is going to more than succeed. This thing is going to raise its quote-unquote offhand, which is the sword, which is the hand that does not have the large, menacing flail, into the air as various bits of rubble and other sorts of ruined things around the whole sort of situation, the whole throne room, raise into the air and start swarming around. However, you're pretty clear, so you're not going to have to deal with any of this. Now, Barclay, if I could get a roll, you have to excuse me. As I came back in, I got some hiccups.
He's got a dexterity save. Looks like it was 16.
Looks like it. 16 is still going to save. So as these various bits of rubble and other rock sort of coming down from the walls and the ceiling start to whip around and break against you, you are easily able to sidestep and dodge them.
I can't believe I made that save.
It's pretty good. And then we are going to move down to the Kingsguard's turn.
Yeah, environmental saves. Lovely.
Indeed. And it is going to take that beautiful multi-attack, which will allow it to take 3 separate, distinct attacks.
Jeebus.
Indeed. So I'm going to believe for the moment that all 3 of those are going to be against Barclay, because Barclay is obviously antagonistic.
Clearly.
And has landed a shot.
And a big flaming sword.
And a big flaming sword right up on there. So the first one, is a 14 going to connect? I have a feeling that it won't.
It's not.
Is a 9 going to connect? I have a feeling that it won't.
Also not, yes.
And I think a 15 also will not connect.
It will not.
Just shy.
So you see this thing, this armor filled with smoke, start to raise up its on hand and start to whip it around and start to go in to swipe towards you, as you are easily able to sort of backstep side to side and make sure that none of it hits you. So moving forward, Barclay Knox, it is now your turn proper.
Ting. I'd like to take a good whack at him.
Give me that attack roll. With advantage, because you are currently flanking.
Okay.
And can I also get the both of you to make perception checks? This is totally for free. We'll let you do it.
There's the perception. 26 on my end.
26, you're going to make it.
Perception checks, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
There you go.
A 15 is not going to make it. However, Brother Anahe, you are relatively easily able to see the large, as you have both noticed, sort of archway with a large chevron in the center, which has 2 glowing purple lights straight at the top on the chevron, which says 2. It is not currently active. You can't, at least as far as you can tell from what you are looking at.
Well, we gotta kill this thing to open the door.
You cannot see any portal in the middle, despite the glowing neon purple chevrons, which is labeling a 2. And you see what looks to be dead in the front of it, in a sort of a key situation, or if you ever watch Star Trek, that dial in the whole sort of situation right in front of it. And it looks like there is a large, relatively square shape, which seems to match almost explicitly the helmet of the thing that you are currently beating to shit, which looks like it is in currently terrible condition.
Helm opens the door. Gotcha. Makes sense.
Moving on down to Barclay Knox, what would you like to do?
Smash this thing, Barclay.
I'm gonna try and smash him with my big flaming sword.
Absolutely. You have a standard, a move, and a bonus action. What would you like to do with him?
Well, for the standard, I'm gonna hit him with the sword.
I like that. Make an attack roll.
Don't I?
Come again?
I have advantage, so I'm rolling.
You do, yes. So you can give me that second roll just in case you crit, but that 20 is definitely going to hit.
I thought I got it already. I'm sorry.
It's good.
That'll hit more, no.
Both of them hit. Both of them will hit, but neither of them are criticals, so you can go ahead and take your normal damage on it.
I would like to smite.
Absolutely. You've made the connection. You can do that extra damage for free.
Second level spell.
Do it.
And how do I do the damage on that?
So second level spell, 3d8 plus your weapon damage plus your modifier based on your charisma, I believe, is a partial hexblade.
Yep.
So it is
2d6 plus, looking at your character sheet, plus 2d6 plus 4 plus 2d8.
3d8 because you're using a second level spell.
Right. Plus 3d8. That's right.
2d6 plus 4. Where are you getting the plus 4 from?
Your, excuse me, I was looking at your
Charisma.
constitution. 2d6 plus 5 from your charisma.
All right.
I'm sorry, the roll is better than I told you. My bad.
No, it's total 6. Okay, I'm on this, and then 3d8.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Smash him good.
Nothing, right?
We don't know. You're gonna have to roll it. We're gonna have to see.
And that 11 is going to be a 12 because all the ones
Become
twos
ones
become,
and twos become threes. Great weapon master.
that's you just the two-handed weapon style.
Indeed, but I don't believe that comes with the bonus damage of the smite.
Nope. It's just the first one. So 22 total.
Yeah, total is 22.
Yeah, you go in for the swing, you start to properly batter, and just a bit, which might not be what you expect as a trained combatant, you go into the side of the chest plate. It is fire damage.
I forgot the fire.
You go into the side of the chest plate, and you almost, what you would assume from the fire damage, start to untemper it a bit.
Oh, you didn't actually add the fire damage to that. So
I didn't actually add the fire damage.
What was it?
That's right.
D4 or D6 fire damage added with the sword.
That is a die 6 for the next 3 turns.
All right, die 6 more fire damage.
Assuming you did it on the first one, but you didn't roll the damage, so I'm going to assume you did it after.
Yeah, there it is.
So 2 more total damage.
Beautiful.
So it was a 24-point hit.
So between the radiant and the fire damage, you go in for this swing, and it starts to unheat treat, untemper the chest plate that this thing is bounded to, and you get an actual solid cleave in and can see actual proper breakage on the chest piece. Moving on forward, we see Brother Anahe. What would you like to do?
I'm going to help my friend finish this thing off. As long as we've got a trap between the two of us, he is in some deep, deep crap.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
So I'm going to go ahead and attack once with advantage here.
Absolutely. You only get the 1.
Either a 22.
See if you get
13.
that.
I'll take the 22. It's way better than the 13.
Definitely going to hit. Roll damage.
Doing so right now.
And since you have advantage, this...
Sneak attack damage.
Absolutely, since you have advantage.
It's doing the slow roll, telling me it's rolling the dice.
It will.
Well,
Go
that's
ahead.
a lot better than that original one. That's a 22 pointer on its own.
Minus 22. You go in for the swing. You get properly with the Repiel or whatever.
Mhm.
You go in and you actually properly puncture it through the back of this well-crafted, obviously magical, because it is slightly impractically crafted chest plate. And you properly go through, and this thing howls out in no sort of language you recognize, but you can hear the sound of howling winds even more and more obvious than when you had previously been dealing with it.
Mm. Fair enough. And I think that's about all that I have that I'm willing to do at the moment. I do have a bonus action spell, but I don't want to cast it just yet.
Sounds good. This thing looks like it is in pretty terrible condition. Can I get the lot of you to make DC 13 DC
Environmental save
13
again?
environmental saves, so you'll get advantage, and this is going to be dexterity.
Got it.
Always dexterity.
It's the same thing they did last turn.
I'm doing fine. I rolled another 16.
You're doing just fine.
Even though I've got advantage, so I'm rolling the second time. The first one was a 25. I'm going to keep the 25.
Definitely going to succeed. The winds start to pick up around this thing as you push in closer, and you can feel yourselves almost getting that half shifted back. But you were able to, with your footwork and with your determination, maintain that face-to-face scenario that you were dealing with.
The poor guy's facing 2 trained killers. He's in trouble.
Damn right. Thing is going to wheel around and look directly at Brother Anahe, who's on the other side of them.
Come on.
And take their multi-attack to take 3 flails. Is a
Not
17
do it.
17
Just
gonna
so
do it?
close. So close. But thanks to +1 armor, that one didn't work. The second one did hit, though.
That one didn't work, but a 25 will connect and a 13 will also not hit. They are going to use their Lightning Strike recharge ability to do an extra 4 die 8.
Well, that hurts.
Indeed, it does. So do this. I believe I clicked it. So you're going to take 12 bludgeoning damage, as well as 14 electrical damage. So up to a total of 26.
Not a problem.
They go in for their various swings, but one of them hits you squarely in the chest, and you feel yourself, all of your muscles tense up, and it is, a bit difficult to move. I would, if you would be so kind, like you to make another Constitution saving throw upon hit with the shocking strike.
Well, I can do that.
Mother.
A real mother.
This one, I think I might want to use the advantage from my inspiration on, and I'm going to go ahead and actually use it now. Thank you very much, chat, for the advantage on inspiration.
Thank you, thank you.
It doesn't help me out. Only a 14 still.
Doesn't help you out. You had that double chance, and the 14 is actually going to be just enough to be able to, you go in, you feel the flail in their right hand, connect, shock the hell out of you, but you are able to maintain enough composure that you will not be stunned on your next turn.
Nice.
That's good. Finish him off, Barclay. Finish him off.
We do go, in fact, down to Barclay Knox. This thing looks like it's in relatively poor condition.
Can I disengage without it hitting me?
That is your standard action, but yes.
Oh, that's your standard action is to disengage?
Yes, a disengage is a standard action that for the rest of the turn prevents things from taking attacks of opportunity on you.
But if I just move, it's only a move action, right? And he
Correct, but it will still get one swing as its reaction as an attack of opportunity on you. Totally up to you if you think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think I'll go for it. Hold on.
What is he up to?
What is he up to?
That crazy, crazy, crazy paladin.
So let him take his attack of opportunity.
Beautiful. I assume a 20 will still connect.
Oh yeah, that'll totally hit me.
Great. You're going to take 12 bludgeoning damage. However, this will not stop you from taking the rest of your movement. As you start to go out of reach, as you turn your back on them, they go in for the low sweep and get right into the right hip. And it is blaring you in pain.
I just wanted him to turn his attention to me so he could see me do this. I can't shatter.
Now, what exactly does Shatter do?
He makes a Constitution save, but since he's a big metal chest plate, he makes that a disadvantage because he's inorganic material.
I love it. 6, I know for a fact, will fail.
Nice work.
It 100% will. Let's see, and he... the reason I moved away is because it's a 10-foot radius sphere, so I wanted to make sure it didn't kill me.
No, but you got me.
Absolutely.
No, I center it further over so as not to hit either of you.
Brilliant plan.
Well, either of us.
Right. Yeah, you are able to move just into the, assuming just a little bit of difference.
It was worth the 12 damage, but it's 3d8, I guess, thunder damage.
Absolutely. Thunder, by the way, is sound-based damage. So if you'd like to roll 3d8, tell me what that comes up as.
And I know I'm just gonna kick myself because it's not gonna end up being as cool as if I would have just hit him with my sword.
Maybe.
I'm gonna let you know it is way cooler than if you hit him with his sword.
And you moved out, and correct me if I'm wrong. In 5th, can you move part of your movement, make your action, then make the rest of your movement, or is it limited to move, action, done?
That is correct, at least as I run it, and I believe in Raw. I'm not entirely certain. However, I do allow people to do that.
Okay. So he can move out, shatter, and then move right back in. I love that.
That's what I was.
You rolled exceedingly well.
Oh, and good damage.
And then as soon as that happens, back on in 17 damage.
Yeah. As you go in to make that attack, you notice the things. Its armor in the chest piece shatters, and the helmet settles right on down to the ground. However, the fine smoky mist that is making up its corporeal form, regardless of the armor, still seems to be connected.
That's all right. We're just going to finish him off.
All right, let's do it. Let's see. I got my move and my standard. I'm pretty sure I can't add smite to a spell, so I'm good to go.
Correct.
Oh, what is it to lay on hands? I don't know. Like, how does that work? Hold on. I can look it up. It won't take me about 1,000,000 years.
Indeed. What are you trying to do again?
Lay on hands. I think that's the standard.
Lay on hands is a bonus.
Oh,
let me check. I believe it is a bonus action, but I may be totally wrong. Let me scroll on down.
If you can access it, there's a link in chat. Somebody just put it up. It's
Absolutely.
an action.
It is a standard action. That is
Okay.
correct.
Just double checking. Sorry.
That's okay. All right.
Bad guy.
No, I'm after you because I'm actually starting and you're last. We haven't sandwiched. He's in the middle.
Right.
It's
So I'm going
true.
to try and finish him off before he gets a chance to do any more damage to us.
The armor seems to have been dropped, clattering to the floor with the solid steel clang that you would expect laying on cobblestones. However, the smoky, ethereal form of this being is maintaining its shape. What would you like to do, Brother Anahe?
Oh, I'm not so sure if stabbing the smoky shape is going to do a whole lot of good. Is it still holding the flail?
You never know till you try.
No, the flail has also dropped.
Oh. Well, that's an improvement. I'm not so worried about getting nailed then. I'm just going to scoop up that helmet, go stick it on the old access altar. We're getting the hell out of here.
Absolutely. I'm going to give that to you as a bonus action to scoop up the helmet as interacting with the environment in a relatively easy way. You are going to take a beautiful, beautiful attack of opportunity. Excuse me. It took the attack of opportunity on Barclay Knox, so it has no reaction left. So you are completely free to do so.
That's
so you
why
can move up in front of this large...
Is this not a new round?
It's the top of the new round, yeah.
It's the top of the new round, correct, but reactions refresh once it becomes your turn.
Oh. All right, then.
Yes. So the air elemental, spoilers?
I'm going to drop that helmet on top of the old ulster thing that looks perfectly sized for the helmet.
Absolutely. You move on up. I'm going to move your character to where you would be to be able to do that, if that's quite all right.
Oh, yeah.
You slam that helmet in, top plate down into the shape that it seems to be willing to receive. And this beautiful effervescent blue to purple sort of texture, this shape shows up within this large arch.
And the rest of my movement, I'm going through it. I'm out. Oh, wait.
You go through it.
Oh, wait. You made me use my bonus action to get there. So I actually still have a standard action then. So I guess I could use a standard action to cast a bonus action spell on my way through.
Correct. I would allow it.
Because Barclay is going to be stuck here for a round, and that thing might be able to hurt him. I'm going to give him a Shield of Faith as a bonus action and give him a 2-point boost to his armor class.
Great. Barclay, your armor class is boosted by 2. Anahe, you still have enough movement to left. You still have enough movement left. You can move through the portal if you would like.
I am absolutely moving through the portal. Well, let's go.
You go through, and as far as Barclay Knox is concerned, you absolutely disappear. So, moving after that, hey,
I've
what's up,
decided
Barclay?
to start a family. Not really.
You know, family is important. However, more important than that, I would appreciate if you would take a dexterity saving throw.
I don't make those.
You have made them in the 2 last turns.
But I'm not supposed to because I suck at them. See? Very bad at them.
Burn that inspiration, man.
Burning that inspiration. See how terrible I am at them? It doesn't matter.
Ooh.
No. The way the inspiration works is I'm going to give you the second one. So 13 meets, so it beats.
Yep, you already had advantage with it.
So you feel this piece of rubble almost immediately contact with your right pectoral muscle and the right hand of your rib cage. And you just immediately, as you feel it touch, on a complete reaction, as a trained combatant, move out of the way sort of shift so that it just glances straight off your breastplate right into whatever matters.
What did this?
The rocks from the environmental effect swirling around the room from this crazy.
Correct. The Kingsguard has been swirling up rocks in every various direction.
And is still doing so. Understood.
Correct. That still seems to be, of the layer actions that I have decided are relevant to the 5th edition Myrmidon, that is still the best one.
Fair.
Because I made them all up, and I think that's the best one. So,
I think it's the monster's turn before Barclay Knox is going to join me on the other side of this portal.
this is correct. It is going to take the multi-attack and take 3 flail attacks. First one, that's going to be a critical.
So it picks the flail back up?
It does. It goes down for the reach, picks the flail up, and goes up straight for the uppercut.
Yep, there you go. It gets the pistol.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the 3rd attack because multi-attack
That's
takes
a 1.
3
Two
attacks.
hits there and one of them critical. That's horrible.
Yeah, but that's a natural 1 too.
That's true.
Absolutely. First one I'm going to take as the critical because nobody wants to get hit with blunt impact trauma on the underside of the human jaw.
Fair.
So, would you be so kind as to take a solid 13 bludgeoning damage?
Okay.
And I'm going to roll 1d6 because I forgot at the beginning. That's not going to be enough to regenerate its special ability that it has already used. Second attack, which has already hit, 10 more bludgeoning damage as this flail goes up, connects straight to the jaw underneath whatever head protection you are wearing, goes back and gets flown between a mixture of the arm control that this thing seems to have and the absolute control it seems to have of the, the various winds and currents of air inside of the throne room. The second one, almost intentionally, goes straight to the temple. But I am assuming, because I am making this decision as somebody who likes to sell historical combat arms and armor in Dungeons & Dragons, you are wearing a helmet, so you will only take the 5 damage rolled on dice.
Okay.
Time to disengage and jump through that portal, my friend.
I think that makes sense. Moving forward, that is the end of the Kingsguard's turn.
It's only... What shape is the armor in? Is it destroyed?
It is in rough shape, definitely. It would probably, if you were to put it back on a person, need some reshaping.
No. I'm just saying, if this thing is tied to the armor, is the armor not destroyed? Is that's why it's still, doing all of its stuff?
I'll put it this way. The armor is not only knocked off of the creature, it is currently on the ground, but it is in rough shape.
I'm going to hit it again.
The creature or the armor?
The armor.
Okay, I like that. Give me that attack roll.
You crazy bastard. If I had known you were going to pull some crazy stuff like that, I wouldn't have jumped through the portal. I thought we were just trying to get paid and get out. As soon as the opportunity presented itself, I did it.
'19's more than going to connect with inanimate armor currently on the floor that has not been picked up. So go ahead and give me that roll.
I'll smite it also.
I had a strange feeling you would. And also, cheers to the both of you for absolutely ignoring the damage resistances because of your magical weapons. Because neither of you decided to make the ranged attacks.
So sword damage by itself will be 14.
Right, absolutely.
And Plus 1 fire damage.
Which will be, I'm going to say, upgraded to 2. Since you are attacking what it is attached to, I am letting you do double damage.
And then 11 smite damage.
The thing as you go in for this last swing on the armor, this single, ridiculously powerful, blazing, powered by the sunlight and the holy energies that are all about life and completely against unlife and its various sort of ways of skirting around the things. You go in for this solid hit, and you put a solid, undeniable dent in the chest piece of this armor. The helmet is obviously over here, completely without your reach.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can see this beast of the wind and the smoke and the steam sort of recoil as if you had punched it in the chest at full force. So, Brother Anahe, you wake up. And you are in the middle of the exact same stone underground sort of room that you experienced when the strange wizard brought you into the game house at the very top of the story. I would be surprised. I didn't expect you back. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Arcanus Maximus. I simply can't remember if I introduced myself at the very top of the story. However, it's good to have you back.
Do I get to go to the portal?
Yeah, you didn't use your move action.
You did not use your move
I didn't use
action.
any of my actions except my bonus action, my standard, right? I'm going to go through that portal.
Great. Absolutely.
And I'm out, Kingsguard.
That's right.
Jesus,
Absolutely.
man.
That is going to be another critical.
I only hit him that one last time because he decided to take a shot at me, which I didn't think was very nice.
This is correct. You're going to take another solid 16 damage as you run off.
Oh, now
they scored a critical.
I'm not leaving anymore then.
The attack of opportunity was a critical hit.
Right. So presumably, if I may move you, you are approximately a step and a half away.
If it still gets attacks of opportunity, I will not be moving anywhere. I'll just stay there forever.
Okay, it's still on its feet and fighting.
Yeah,
That's
if it's
why I
still
was
on its
saying.
feet fighting, I'll disengage next round. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
I didn't know it was still
Absolutely.
on its feet and fighting. So
Yeah.
Yep. It is not dead.
Because there's no reason for me not to. I'm gonna sort of part the kimono, part the curtain, as it were. This is a air myrmidon with given layer actions that has, at the point that you dislodge the key in the armor, become an air elemental that has the same offensive abilities as a myrmidon.
mm-hmm. But it's still fighting, so
It is fighting back. It is bonded.
It's not
It is
fighting
the
back.
Kingsguard, and you are. It is. Excuse me. Big quotation
the air
marks.
elemental is the Kingsguard, and the Kingsguard is the air elemental. Both.
Correct. The Kingsguard
No, the
was
air elemental
summoned.
Guard before it was a king. Wait.
The Kingsguard was bounded through the ritualistic armor, and then it felt a duty to the king. This is completely out of character lore that I'm giving you because it doesn't matter. Because this is a ending stream story.
Mhm.
So fuck it. Nothing matters. And also, why not? But it gave itself a certain amount of understanding and, hey, I've done this long enough, it's what I'm used to, that after the armor was destroyed, it became a normal air elemental, not any longer bounded to the armor, which is what a Myrmidon is, an elemental bounded to a suit of plate armor.
So now it's just fighting me because it wants to.
It's fighting you because it thinks that it's right. And also because it wants to. Both of those are correct at the same time.
I believe you.
I should think you should. You have a lot of respect for the dungeon master, so literally anything I say is correct.
Well,
unless you have a good
I'm just glad you don't get hit with that critical opportunity attack. You only have to endure 3 more attacks from that damn thing before you can get away.
It's true. If I will say that you notice, because I see how this fight is going, and it will not go well for the elemental. If you notice that this thing rears up to swing in a sort of same uppercut that it did at the very beginning when it got dislodged of its armor, I will let you ignore that, because I think it's very in-character appropriate for you to see, oh, you're still fighting? Well, I'm going to kick your ass.
It's what he gets.
Absolutely.
The armor broke, the door is open. He should just have the courtesy to be not a dick about it.
Damn right. So, moving on down, Barclay, what would you like to do?
Kill it!
Kill it!
Disengage and run, my friend.
Kill it with sword and fire! I mean,
fighting this
I
damn
don't
thing.
know if it's hurt is the thing.
That's why I'm saying get the hell out of there. No point in keeping at it when we don't even know if you can kill it.
Yeah, I mean, I think James is right, but also it is my duty as a dungeon master to tell you when things are injured in a way you would notice, because that's good game design. Even though you've knocked the armor off of it, you know that you're in the, big quotes, second stage. You have more than done enough damage to absolutely decimate this thing. The mist and the smoke and the will of the winds that is pulling it together and maintaining its semi-humanoid form is starting to disseminate.
All right, well, then I'm not done.
Yeah. To
Crazy
put it
bastard.
in terms not relevant to a creature without blood, you would know it is bloodied. It is under half health in its current state. $21's gonna more than hit.
Yeah.
Give me that damage.
Burn a spell and smite is worthless.
Oh, yeah. I've still got a second level I'm going to use.
Absolutely.
You're going to be crazy and stick around. Be really crazy.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like,
Yeah. I told you all to...
totally prepared just to go away, but he's like, no, I'm the wind. I'm like, all right, fella.
Yeah, I told you all to play the most mechanically enjoyable characters that you could. And I know the both of you, and I know that's 13 damage before you do smite.
Yeah, 14 damage plus the 3d8.
Right.
Plus the d6 for fire.
32 damage.
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
5, 31, yeah.
So that all that math seems correct with the extra +1 on the base sword damage?
Yeah.
Okay, this thing... I don't know how to explain this other than if it had a knee, it would drop to 1. But the sort of like smoky snake coil coming out of the humanoid torso collapses forward and it catches itself on its 2 humanoid limbs, its arms that have been carrying the flail.
Can I make it intimidate as a move action?
Stay down.
Actually,
Yeah.
I will give you to that based on the circumstances.
I'm going to give him... I'm going to give him the opportunity to stay down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to use the Intimidate skill, but as much as anything else, it has no king left to guard. It has no reason to protect this place after everything else has died. And you are convincing it through force.
It's my best negotiation tactic.
Absolutely. If there's anything a magically binded Kingsguard will understand, it is force. And 25, I will give you a half measure for that second critical, based on the fact that it is nothing I can do before. However, it is going to take that 22 and its entire smoky, steamy, ethereal body will start to slowly seep back towards the frankly slightly unusable chest plate. Because when you have an elemental, you don't have to make it reasonable for human physiology.
All right, now I assume that he's going to stay down, or bad wind. Now,
you start to walk towards the portal. You take a fucking
I look over my shoulder back at him once too, like you even try and throw a rock at me. I'm letting him know.
All right.
What
Let me put it this way.
Stupid high charisma is good for.
Stupid high charisma is the funnest and hardest as a dungeon master skill for a player character to have. So I am going to tell you that the mist reforms into the chest piece and starts to reform in a classically humanoid scaled head. And very slowly starts to move towards you and then stops when you look back towards it.
I just give him a nod and I go to the portal.
Give me a perception check, Barclay.
Okay, I hope I do well.
I hope you do well as well.
I believe in me. 7. The natural 1, bud.
Dog, as far as you can tell, this thing is following you. And you can't tell why, and it's probably because it's going to follow you to your homeland and maybe do a little stabbing.
That's fine. If he wants to fight again, that's fine, but he's not going to want to fight right now because I don't want to fight right now. He's beaten, he knows it. I'm going.
Beautiful. I love that. So, as you push forward and enter into the large portal in the throne room as you were directed would be probably the safest option, because Bonesworth said, hey, that's new. That's probably where you're going. And, your personal friend, the great and golden, and I apologize, I have this on paper as opposed to on the Google Doc. Hold on, I've got it. Carissa. That's the one.
Carissa.
Took a second.
Yep.
And Carissa follows shortly after. You find yourselves in the middle of this podium. It seems like a very classic racing podium where there is the first, second, the first place, the second place, and the third place. And the two of you are on the central first place podium. And the person that you caught on your very small dressing room based scrying mirror says, well, I should like to give you all thanks for giving your support, sending what little support that you can to our contestants, and making sure that we had an absolutely fantastic Crawl Royale this year. Once again, my name is Marth Wasson, and if you were unable to attend any of the previous episodes, I hope that our fantastic heroes and their unlikely sidekick, and they motion with their right hand towards the two of you, and then on the second place podium, all alone, Carissa, who seems to be almost shaking in anticipation. And I will say at the very least that Brother Anahe has wisdom enough to tell that the anticipation shaking is simply based on the fact that they made it out of this whole thing alive. I would like to thank our contestants, Brother Anahe, who has not properly supplied their first name, and Barclay Knox, were, against their will, willing to find their freedom and their gold through your entertainment in the Crawl Royale. And then you see a handful of various people, various different fantasy species. Let's say there's 4 of them. There is a human, there is a wood elf, there is an orc, and there is a kobold, all exceedingly scantily clad, carrying this large golden trophy, this large golden cup full of platinum pieces as it approaches you. Of course, the kobold showgirl on stilts. Because that's how math and height work. Moving it forward. So I hope that you will all be so kind as to follow us next year and possibly see if you can spend a little money. Keep track of our contestants because, well, usually our succeeding contestants are able to find themselves in a more heroic path than those who fail or die failing. This has been Crawl Royale. I have been absolutely pleased to see you for the 213th annual season. And, well, I hope we'll see you next year. And I believe that is where we are going to call not only our session, but the final session of the Crawl Royale miniseries that we have been doing on Zoe.net.
What's going to happen next Friday? We don't know yet, but stay tuned, and I'm sure you'll hear about it.
Make an announcement. I've got a couple ideas.
See?
Got a couple ideas. And, you know, well, if they need me, I'll be around. But if you don't see me, it's not because they don't like me. It's because I'm not appropriate to the specific thing. It's been great to have all of you. I am just so pleased that even on this little sort of side experiment that I have played with my personal friends, James and Christian, who I have known for, you know, Christian for ages. We used to live together when I was a proper teenager. And James, who I've known for a few years. I'm so glad not only to play things with them, but to be able to play things with people that I love and trust in front of all of you. Because as James has said before, the best thing that we can look forward to is each other. We are all looking out for each other. And I hope at the very least that the 3 of us have been able to give you at least a little distraction to everything that's going on.
Yep.
So,
with joining us, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much.
See you next week.
Yep. See you next week. Love you guys. Good night.
You've been great. Have a good one.
And the other 2, I'll see you 2 on Sunday for D&D.
Yeah, I'll see you in